Hello.
Hey everyone, my name is Andrew Davis, and you're watching Conversations in Pop Culture. And yes, I am hard to kill. And before I introduce my guest, I do want to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by Pocketjack Comics, who have books like Palace of the Golden Princess and White Lily. You can find their books at pocketjackcomics.com. And my good friend Preston does have a Kickstarter going right now, and there's a lot of cool stuff in there, and there's a lot of D&D in there. Dungeons and Dragons. I want to make that crystal clear. It's Dungeons and Dragons, and a lot of that is in there. And then the other thing I do want to remind everybody is that please subscribe on YouTube. Because legitly 99% of the people who watch my content do not subscribe. And the 1% that do, I appreciate you a lot, but I would like it to increase. And the goal is to get it up to 2% subscribing. And I think we can do it, everybody. I think we can do it. But enough about that, because I have with me comic creator and owner of Weird Brain Comics, Dave Franchini. So welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks, man. Yeah, it's weird when you say that, like odor. It's all still new to me. So it's cool to hear. But yeah, hey, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Hope we can get you up to 2 to 3%. Let's go higher. Well, aim high, fail high, man. Let's go
We
10%. We're getting 10% after this.
Yes, exactly. No. We set small goals and we go milestone by milestone by milestone, because when you set small goals eventually roll into big goals, and then it's the snowball effect. Oh man, and I like to set goals that are obtainable. It's just how I do things.
Ah,
Um,
with
but
it. 1% a day. As long as you're doing 1% per day, I have it on my wall right here. 1% per day. You get
I,
there.
I would like to just get up to, and I have a subscriber goal towards the end of the year. But obviously, it's 900 subscribers. We're at 868. So I do think 900 is actually a reasonable number. But I digress. Because that has nothing to do with you, because you got a lot going on. You have obviously Anti-Christine and the Four Unicorns of the Apocalypse, which is on Kickstarter right now.
Not a
Um,
mouthful at all.
what what
Not
did
a,
you say?
not a mouthful at all. Not a long title at all. I don't keep making these long titles.
It's just so many things I could say. So many things I could say. But we're going to talk about your book in a little bit. But I do want to give you a chance to introduce who you are, because obviously you have a long history in comics. A lot of people know who you are. Some people don't. And obviously you've been around the block. But what's the quick introduction of who you are, so we get everybody up to speed before we dive into all the chicanery that we're going to get into?
All right, cool. No, yeah, I mean, I've been in comics for 16 years now, which is kind of nuts. I started out as an intern at Zenescope Entertainment. Then I kind of worked in my way up to sales, and then I ran sales for a couple of years, and then I worked my way into publishing, and then I worked my way up to publishing. So I worked at Zenescope for 16 years. Started as an intern, ended as a publisher, and I left Zenescope in February of this year and started my own company, Weird Brain Entertainment. So it's been, what's it been? Was it September? So it's been about 7 months since I left, and 7 months since I've been doing this, which is crazy. It feels like it's been like 3 years. Like it just feels like it feels like there's so much that's been like getting done and doing all this stuff that it feels like it's kind of crazy that it's been only been 7 months. But yeah. So I mean, yes, I launched. This is my third Kickstarter. I did the first one, which was Sven the Groundhog Saved from the Stars. That came out in February. And then in May, I did Hell of a Job. And now I just launched this one in, what was it, August? August was Anti-Christine and the Four Unicorns of the Apocalypse, #1. So just more words on top of that title. And then, so right now, yeah, so it's the third one. And I think after this, Kickstarter's let me run one a month, because I had to kind of prove that I could fulfill the thing. I'm not just taking people's money and then never giving a thing like the products. So now I'm doing Sven #2. I should be doing that at the end of the month. September 24th is my planned launch date. So
Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but obviously, I mean, I do want to talk a little bit about this and talk about this, and obviously, I mean, you've been doing this now for 7 months, and I was just watching an interview with Kelsey Plum, and in case anybody didn't know, I'm a huge WNBA fan, and what she was saying when she left the Aces is that she needed the ability to evolve, and I'm curious how you feel about that, because obviously, people leave jobs, people leave companies, people go out on their own. And sometimes, when you leave your home, it's not because you want to leave where you're comfortable. Sometimes there's a fight and you got to leave. Sometimes you get laid off, or it's time that a company closes. But other times, you got to evolve. And I'm curious how you feel about that, because what has this been like? Because working for Zenescope is one thing, and doing the whole publishing and pretty much everything in between, booking a lot of covers, doing writing for them is one thing, and being pretty high up in the food chain there. But then going out on your own is a whole different ball game, because you're now not just the writer, but you're the everything.
Yeah, it's intense. I mean, that's the thing too. Like, yeah, I love Zenescope. Not with any bad blood or anything. Like, I don't want to like. It was more just like I kind of,
You needed to evolve,
yeah,
right?
exactly it. Like I needed a new challenge. I needed to kind of make something for myself. I mean, the thing is, I love writing. I love creating. It keeps the woodpeckers from eating my brain. I say that a lot. And I mean that. I wrote a whole story about like what woodpeckers are to me, and it's like you just need. I love making this stuff, and I needed to I want to exist after I die. I want to be able to, like, and I wanted something like that I can tie my name to, feel proud about. And not that I didn't feel proud about it in the Zenescope stuff. It was more just like I wanted something of my own. I wanted to see if I could do it, and it was more.
Let me ask this, because, and I'll interject my own personal position in this. So this whole show, I'm almost 1,200, 1,300 interviews in, right?
Damn.
I own that media, right? So somebody can't take away my media and the fact that I own it, right? And so there's a legacy component to this. I can choose what I want to do with that media, and it's also my name on it, right? And I
Yeah.
think there's a big it's complicated to explain ownership, right? And I don't know how to explain it, but do you feel that it's an ownership thing too, where it's like, I own this and I stand behind this when
Well, it's
you
right, but it's
own.
also feel like I get to do whatever I want. Like I don't have to ask somebody like, "Hey, can I make this character do this? Can I do this story this week? Can I write this story coming up?" Like I can just be like, you know what, that's what I want to do next, and I have to take the risk on my own. And that's the hard part is that you got to realize when you own stuff, you own the failures too. You own everything. Like I went from working in a team environment, which was awesome, to like working with myself for myself with myself. Like it's like I'm my own like employee, employer, and also coworker. So it's like it's kind of chaos. I mean, I still get to work with all the artists, which is fun, and it keeps it keeps me sane for the most part. Presumably, I don't know if I'm just talking to a wall right now. I hope you're real and everybody else is real, and I didn't lose my mind. But no, I mean it's a little bit of everything. It's like it's definitely the ownership of having the ownership of the characters and being able to decide what you do next and where you go next, and having that freedom of being like, you know what, I'm gonna sleep till 10 o'clock today because I'm gonna work till 5. I worked till 5 a.m. last night. Like it's like you got the freedom of doing whatever, like whatever it is, and you work a little bit harder, and it's for yourself because you got to make sure that like what you're doing is for the betterment of the company, which is the betterment of you. And I mean, you do that everywhere else. Like it depends on what kind of work you are. Like I could not do that. Like even at Zenescope, I would still try to put in like there was a time where I was putting in almost like 60, 70 hour weeks. And it was just like you gotta love what you do and you gotta get fulfillment of what you do. And for there, like when I was there, it was just like I kind of did everything I needed to do there. It was like I got the free I had the freedom to write whatever I really wanted to within that
Because
universe.
I go back to the whole thing with Kelsey Plum, right? And she was explaining why she left Las Vegas Aces to go to the Sparks. And it was this whole idea where she wanted to accomplish more as a basketball player. And
Yeah.
she felt that it wasn't anything against the Sparks, but she was always going to be like a sixth person on that team. There's nothing wrong being the sixth man in a sports team. There's plenty of players who are instrumental and have brought championships. TJ McConnell to the Pacers is a good example of that. But also, you want to get better and you want to accomplish something. And like that's why I bring this up, because I think it's really interesting, because very few people have done what you have done in comics. And that's why I think this is so interesting, is leaving a really cool position and legitly climbing from the bottom to where you were with Zenescope, and then leaving not in a bad environment, but saying, I want to go accomplish something even more, and I want ownership. And that's why I bring it up, because I think it's so interesting, because I think you're one of the few.
No, I mean, well, it is like I don't like being complacent, and I it's not like again, it's I say these things like I get bored easily, but it's not like I was bored of doing that stuff. It's more just like I knew I need more. I need something different. I need to like if I hit to a point where I'm like, all right, like I want to build something, and it's like for me, it's like it's exciting. I'm glad I did it. I'm terrified every morning when I wake up, and I have to force myself out of bed because it's like there's so much weight of doing this stuff by yourself, but at the same time it's so rewarding. Like you gotta muscle through all the like every time I have to like do accounting, like I'll go through it, I'm like, and it's just painful because like you're spending your own money, you're taking this stuff out there, and but at the same time like you're doing it, you're paying the people that did the work for you, but it's like it drags you out. So it's like, okay, you wake up, you like today I have to do accounting. And then it's like later in the day, I have to make sure I have to market. Every day I have to make sure I have to do social media posts. I have to make sure like you're reaching out to retailers, you're getting books in stores. Then you gotta figure out time to write and create and edit and come up with cover concepts. And it's just like, it's a lot. And again, I'm not a victim of it's a choice I made. It's just like, it's stuff that like you feel mentally prepared for, and when you do it it's like a whole other thing of like it's studying for a test and then getting there and being like, all right, I know this information. It's like but like the questions are backwards from the way I studied, so I just got to sit here and I got to figure out how to answer these questions front to back, and that's kind of what this stuff is.
I had that once. I studied for 3 months. First question, I'm like, what the fuck is on this test?
Yeah, no, but that's what this is. It's like I wake up every day and it's just like it's like what's going to happen today because I'm like I have a plan. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this, and then by like this time I'm going to start writing and do that. And by the sometimes I don't get the write until like so like I own a house with me and my girlfriend, and she goes to bed every day at 10 o'clock at night. So I'm most nights I might go from 10 o'clock to like 10:45 and take a nap, and then from like 10:45 to like 2 or 4 I spend my time writing. But it's like I would like it during the day, but it's like something you just got to do what you got to do to make everything move because it's like I'm not hiring other writers because like first of all I don't have the money to do that, but also too like I do this because I want to create. So it's like for right now, like as long as I can create, I'm gonna do that.
Let,
Um,
let me ask you a question because this is actually a really interesting question. Is that obviously I'm not going to go hire another interviewer for this show, right? Because it's I'm the brand, right? But and I mostly edit and cut up content myself, but I brought people in to do it, but I have a particular style on how I want it done, right? And so my style is that. But if I get to the point where there's money and I'm profitable and I would just want to get there faster, I'll bring in other people. So
yeah,
is it that because and the reason why I bring this up is that some people say, look, I don't want anybody but me to write this. I can't draw for shit, but I'm the main writer and that's it. Because it's my baby, it's my universe. And then other people say, well, I have to grow it first and foremost. And if I don't have enough writing credits as the individual into this and add writers in, it's going to fuck up the whole thing.
yeah. So
And I'm curious where you feel on that.
no, yeah. So like for me it's like I'm not like a selfish person. Like if I have an idea and I really want to write it, I'll write it. But I've gotten so used to like a lot of the stuff like for Zenescope, I would either come up with the idea or like at one point it was like me and David Wall come up with a lot of the ideas, bounce them off each other, and then we give it to other people. So I'm used to coming up with an idea and giving it to someone else to run with. And at least if it's someone I trust or someone I enjoy their writing, I'm okay with that. But there's always things that you have that are like this is my story that I need to tell, and I want to tell this story. But like I've already like in the books I'm creating, I'm already creating characters that I can already see spin-off series, and I got to be realistic. Like I'm not gonna be able to write and also do all this forever if it grows large enough. If it doesn't grow, which I really hope it does, but if it doesn't grow, then I'm not going to have to worry about that problem because I'll have enough time to do all this stuff because it's not hitting where it needs to hit. But if it gets to a point where it gets bigger, like I'm perfectly fine with like handing off things to certain people, especially people that I trust, and also too like it's what I've been doing for years. So I've kind of like I still get my hands in everything. I want to be a part of it. I love to create, but I'm also not like I'm not opposed to like okay, like you have an idea for this. I like it. Let's go with it. Like if I can do that and it's with people I trust and people I like, then I'll definitely do that. Like, I mean, that's my plan. The plan is to not just be the sole writer for the entirety of this company, and I want this company to last, hopefully past my existence. But I mean, that's far ahead, and that's high expectations. But right now, like as long as like I'm spending all this time to build the groundwork, try to build a fan base up, try to build a sales revenue, like a not a revenue, like a sales market up, and try to build all that stuff up so I can bring other people, and I can, and like comics are fun when you work with other people. So I love working with other creators, whether it's artists, whether it's different writers, whether it's colorists, whatever it is. Like I love working with everybody that's in this industry. So like my goal is to grow enough to be able to bring in other people, and that way it doesn't just fall completely on me to just do this stuff. I want to build and have fun. Like the whole comics are just fun, and they should be fun to make, and they're more fun to make when you make it with people you like and the people that you enjoy and stuff like that. Like, so I mean that's the main goal. But right now, I mean that's the down the line goal. I'm aiming for that one, but right now it's just like make it to the next month, make it to the next book, make it to the next month, make it to the next book, and grow each time. And that's what's been happening. Each book it's been growing a little bit and a little bit. I do conventions, I do the in stores, like signings at retail stores, and it's slowly growing. And it's crazy, like just watching it grow. And it's a cool thing, but at the same time, it's never going to be enough. It's like, all right, we got to grow more. We got to keep going.
Yeah, see, I'm so lazy. I'm so lazy. Just want to run my business and take my profits and just put it in the stock market and just sit back. I'm so lazy.
I'm going to work till I die at the desk, and hopefully that's later and not sooner. But I just, I don't know, I love this stuff, and I go crazy otherwise.
Yeah, see, I'm lazy. I want to work smarter, not harder. And again, I have an idea for a book, and I can only do the trick once, and it's brilliant. It's going to be a brilliant concept, and everybody's going to hate me, and you're all going to be pissed when I do it, and I'm going to be so thrilled to do it. And yes, I will play the heel. But I digress because I want to talk about your book. I want to talk about your book that's on Kickstarter, which is Anti-Christine and the Four Unicorns of the Apocalypse. And the basic premise of this book is basically Christine is 13 and she tells Daddy Devil, yeah, I'm not going to go destroy the world because she likes the world. She then runs away. She has the power of kind of the four horsemen at her disposal. She turns them into a unicorn or unicorns. I don't know if
so basically, she turns them into four unicorns, and she actually names them all after NSYNC and starts a rock band. And then she and now it's like years later, it's 14 years later from that moment, and she's 27, and she's kind of like not really grown up, but some of the unicorns have moved on. Justin, her best bud, is with her, and now the devil had another daughter during that time, and she's turning 13, and she basically wants to kill her half sister Christine to make her dad happy and end the world. So like that's where we kind of pick up at the very beginning of the book is Bernadette's 13th birthday, which is Christine's half sister.
So where did this idea come from? Because that's what we all want to know. Because it's absurd. I mean, no offense, but it's pretty absurdity. Is the only way how to describe it.
It's so weird, but yeah, I go with absurd. But no, yeah, I mean this has been something that's kind of like it was a half of a joke years ago. And actually, if you look when you see the book, it'll be like I gave a story credit to Ashley Hilbert, who actually does a lot of my production and design, because like she's always kind of been like in the corner of this book. Like we've been talking about it as a joke for years. I was like, I was going to make it a kid's book. It was going to be an all ages book about the devil's daughter and the four unicorns of the apocalypse. And as I started like taking it seriously these past couple of like months, I was just like, this is not going to work as a kid's book. As much as I want it to, I was like, it's too dark, and no parents are buying this for their kids and are going to be able to give it to them without being a gag gift. So I was like, all right, let's make it into a book that makes sense for like the universe that I'm building, which is like Sven the Groundhog, Hell of a Job, Anti-Christine. They all exist in the same universe. So like I was like, all right, let's build this into that. And then Ashley, throughout the years, would always throw in ideas and stuff like that. So like I was like, you know what, like we built this. She helped me keep this idea alive for all these years. I was like, so we both have story credit on this one. But yeah, it's kind of just been something that's been joked around and passed around in my head, and it was going to be a kid. It was literally going to be a kid's book. And then I was like, you know what? Let's make it so, like once I started diving into it, I was like, there's so many possibilities. So like I'm treating this more like the Supernatural TV show mixed with like rock and roll and heavy metal and unicorns with guns. So it's like it's a little bit of everything. It's definitely weird. It's definitely absurd. But
So,
yeah,
so, so let's talk about this a little bit because absurdity is complicated to do right. So I love absurdity as a genre. I love when people do it right. One of my favorite books is Razor Girl, which is the definition of absurdity. It's Carl Heinesen or Hennessy, and it's brilliant. The whole book, it's just absurd from start to finish, and everything in that book is brilliant. And but if you miss absurdity, it's bad. If you go too far, it's bad. And so, what is this like to figure out how to hit it perfectly or attempt to hit it perfectly? Because obviously, I don't want to say it's perfect because it didn't come out of the oven, right? I don't judge a cake before it comes out of the oven. But what is that like? Because it's such a unique skill to write in
I mean,
absurdity.
that's things like I love comedy. I love dark twist. I like weird things. I like things that are like, and also like it like weird thoughts come out of my head and out of my mouth all the time. And this one, it's like the way you gotta, like the way I go at like some of this stuff is like, yeah, you can go too far, and it could be dumb. Like it's like, all right, I'm annoyed at this, as opposed to like this is funny or whatever. So this one's more like you play it straight. It's like almost like how Leslie Nielsen would play it straight on like Naked Gun. He wasn't playing a comedy; he was playing a drama role in a comedy movie. And so it's the same thing. It's like these characters are existing logically in this real world that they're in, and you got to play it off like that. Like, yeah, the absurdity is that there's these little unicorns, and that there's the devil and there's hell, and that these things are strange, and they got to fit into this world, and that's where the fun part is like making them fit, making them crazy, but also keeping it real at the same time. It's definitely you got to ride it back and forth. Where it's like you can't lean too heavy into like the weird stuff, but you'll see it with the unicorns as you meet the unicorns and you learn so they're allowed to be absurd in our real world. Like so, there's real people and they're dealing with these things that shouldn't be on our planet walking around. They're the four horsemen. They're supposed to come to the planet, end the world, and then whatever, who knows what after that, because the world's never ends. We've never seen something like that. So like this is like they're like newborns of bringers of death on our planet, and like they gotta the absurdity is them trying to figure out how they fit into this world because they're not getting to do what they were basically created to do. And then so that's where you get the absurdity of like they don't understand, like, oh, you can't just rip this guy's face off. Well, that's weird. Like I didn't why can't you do that? It's more of that. It's like this innocence of absurdity. But then Anti-Christine is this jaded 13-year-old that's never grown up because she's run away from home. She's found out that the devil basically wanted her to end the world. So she's the only friend she's had, the only stability she's had is these absurd creatures that are learning like from her, and she's learning from them. So like that's where you get like these people these characters that just don't fit into normal society. Which I mean, we can relate to it to a degree. I mean, none of us were half unicorn horsemen people, but I mean, who knows? Maybe.
Oh, so many things I could say. So many things I could say to that. Um, so many things I could say. Just so true, so true. So many things I could say. Is all I gotta. That's my official response. But all going further into this, obviously, and there's a bunch of other stuff being out and played out here. Obviously, you have two sisters who are 14 years apart, who obviously, I don't think they have a personal beef with each other, but they do have a professional problem, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, and they have a disconnect. And it's the thing is like all my siblings are my half siblings, which is kind of weird. I didn't realize that now. Like, but like, I mean, I knew that, but I'm like, I didn't realize how it related to this book until I just said that. But like, my youngest brother is 18 years younger than me, and then my sister that's closest to me is 11 years apart. And then my other sister, I believe she's 13, 14. But like, I mean, so like I have that gap. So like these characters, I understand the age gap where like they're siblings and you got to deal with the sibling rivalry, and you also got to deal with like the one sister still wanting to impress her dad, and then possibly the other one that maybe wants to do it too, but doesn't want to just admit it. Like there's a lot to play with. Like that's the fun thing about like creating stories that like it didn't exist, like, and being able to create your own thing from scratch, and you don't have to worry about anything else holding you back. Everything I make now and everything that these characters go through is brand new, and it just builds another thread for this universe to kind of go into. Like, so there's gonna be a lot of family drama, there's gonna be a lot of demon drama, a lot of unicorn drama, and like, well, that's the thing too. Like, you get a lot of fun of dealing with the sister drama of the half sisters and the demonic end of the world stuff. But then you also get to deal with like a unicorn, that like a man unicorn that grew up in a world where he's a monster. And it's like he didn't choose to be a monster. He was just born this little, like, as you'll see in the first issue, like they came out like these, like, I won't tell you how they were born. That's a whole part by itself. But then you see these little baby unicorn guys that have to kind of exist in this world, and that's really fun. Kind of, and that's the cool thing, is exploring each unicorn is unique, and each one kind of has its own personality, has its own like ambitions in life. So like that's like this first story arc is it's 4 or 5 issues long. It might be a double-sized 4 issue or 5 issues, but I plan this as a thing that I can do. I can write for a lot of years. Like this, there's a lot of content here to kind of dive into with these characters.
And the other thing, there's a lot to unpack there. So, I mean, obviously, I mean, you mentioned this multiple times, is that this is in the world of your other 2 books.
Yep.
And that's also a whole different ball game when you have a universal overarching world, because while these stories may or may not cross, at some point they can, at some point events that can occur. Obviously, if the world ends, that's the end of your universe, and well, you had a nice run in your company.
Well, I mean, that's why there's always it's comics. Well, that's like, so like each of them, and they all exist in like Pennsylvania. So like Sven the Groundhog, that story takes place in Washington D.C. and Punxsutawney, PA, and also Kennett Square, PA. And then Hell of a Job takes place in Nazareth, PA. Antichristine takes place in Bethlehem, PA, because where else would the Antichrist be born but in Bethlehem, PA? And then the book that I'm coming out with in December, or I'm aiming for December, that one's actually about a woman who has her daughter her daughter is kidnapped by one of her ex-boyfriends, and she teams up with a snowman named Nicholas to get her daughter back. So it's like Frosty the Snowman mixed with Taken, and that one takes place in Jersey City and Northeast Philadelphia. So like each of these stories all exist in this little bubble in this universe, and it leaves it open to where you can see crossover, and things that happen in one universe in one story could affect another story. Because even in the Hell of a Job #1, the main character wakes up late for work, and on her radio, the characters on there are talking about the story about this little unicorn man that bought this lady coffee, and it's just a little hint at Anti-Christine. And then when you get to the cubicle of the main character in Hell of a Job, you see Sven the Groundhog on like a picture of him on the bulletin board, which might be from like a magazine or whatever, like what are those called, tabloid. And then you see and then there's a kid's book I'm working on, and the toys of that kid's book are all on like. So I don't know. I like that. I like having fun. I like building something that like you can kind of feel lived in, and then also you can be like, oh, well, I just seen these guys run by in this book. Where are they going? And then you go read that story, and you're like, oh my god, like that's what they were doing while this was happening. Like I love shared universe. I love continuity. So like I'm trying to build a lot on that. Hopefully people keep backing the projects, and I can keep making these. So guys can see the weirdness that I'm trying to form here, but we'll see.
See, I enjoy shows shows and comics that are complete. There's a anime called Odd Taxi, and every single episode connects in such a unique way. And I can't tell anything beyond Odd Taxi, beyond the fact that at episode 12, you realize, oh shit, I was watching a whole different show. But since the taxi goes past a cat, and then the next episode, you see the vantage point from the cat and what's going on there. And then the taxi circles back around in like episode 4, and it shows from behind the cat. But then in episode 3, you see where the cat was crossing from what was going on, and the whole thing is just like connects in weird ways with a centralized story. And so I like when there's Easter eggs and things like that, and then you get whole connection points and things like that, and then point A connects to point B, and you can fill in the blanks once you have a whole complete universe.
Well,
I
yeah.
like stuff like that because I think it's a real vision skill. I wouldn't even say it's a writing skill. It's an understanding of how to plan things in a universe. And I think that if you're going to go build a universe, a universal universe, you better do it that way. Because if you don't, and this is why I hate superhero universes that independent comic creators create, because they don't plant those Easter eggs in there.
Well, there's my favorite things. Like I love that. Like even that. Like that's the thing is like Sven deals with space travel. So like that. Like it gives this universe the ability to branch into everything. But also too like each character is like a person in the real world. Everybody has a finite story potentially. So like just because this story might end over here doesn't mean the world ends. It just means that this story ends over here and something spirals out of it and maybe leads into the other ones. Like I haven't planned that far ahead on there, but like I know where most of the like say if I only needed to do one story arc for each one of these, I could do that. And these stories will be like after the first story arcs, you could be like, oh, okay, like that's a complete story, but I have so many things planned. Like as you write new stuff, you're like, oh, well, this could be cool, and this can tie into that, and this is how we can bring these guys together. Like I love that. Like that's the whole. Like I love telling stories just because I like building the worlds, and then you keep building these worlds, then you go back to the characters and you start like creating problems for these characters that wind up making the world bigger. And in fact, like I don't know, like storytelling is one of the coolest things.
Do you feel that because this is the whole thing that I like. So I like big collective universes and I like big collective clashes, right? I've stated this before. My issue with the DC whole universe, I don't know what they're going to do with this in the movie realm, but I would have broken it up into 3 sectors, right? I would have done Green Lantern and everything related to Green Lantern, like Martian Manhunter. I would have done all those movies. And then at some point, I would have clashed all the worlds together, right? But I would have kept them individual movies, conflict moves within those individuals, and then I would have created epic clash, right?
Yeah.
It's what Marvel didn't do, where Marvel epic clashed the whole thing at Endgame, and it was great, 20 movies in, but picking up the pieces afterwards has been a nightmare for Marvel. They've lost traction is the point. But are you gonna have an epic clash in your universe?
I mean, it depends on the fans, man. It depends if people like. I know where all these stories are going. I know where these characters can cross over. You might not have. It won't be an epic clash like after year one or whatever like that. But you might see these characters run into each other or have a crossover book or something like that as I get going. But right now, the first thing I'm doing is planting seeds and telling these initial stories. So these 4 books are going to have their full stories before you start seeing them actually like cross over with anything. Because you don't want to get too complicated, and you want to have these characters kind of establish who they are, what their world is, and they're part of the world. And then we build onto that. And then as it goes, it has to be natural too. Like you don't want to just be like, oh, well, this is my best-selling book, and this is my best-selling book. Let's throw them together, and the story doesn't really have to make sense because people like them. It's like no, like why did these characters come together and is it fun? Is it worth the story? Is it a story worth telling? And I'm hoping it is because like these characters are a lot of fun to make, and I'm realize and like I have a first like slew of stories, and then I have a whole nother set of books that'll still take place in this universe that'll be separate from these things too. It's just I can't get to those until I kind of start picking up traction with like the Kickstarters, and I gotta keep growing a little bit before I can kind of start branching out past the 4 stories I have going on now.
Let's actually talk about that too, because obviously we're in a unique time, right? I have a very, very different opinion about Kickstarter and the whole thing, in which that I think the model of media has obviously evolved and changed in the last 5 years on every sector. From the big guys, which is NBC, Disney, Paramount Plus, all the way down to DC Marvel. Distribution is a nightmare. I don't think that's a secret. I forgot who put something up today about more drama with Diamond.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
saw that. They're suing they're countersuing or they're whatever, all the
I
publishers.
didn't read it. I didn't read it. I just saw the article that there's more drama going on. I really don't know what the hell's going on beyond the fact that a bunch of people are owed money. And what is it, like 500,000 or $1 million or
Way
profit?
more. It's way more. It's like yeah, like each publisher's owed tons of money. But I mean, that's the thing. I don't know enough about their business. I just read the articles and I kind of gave up on them because like I don't have to deal with that stuff right now, and I have enough to deal with. So I don't want to. I don't want to bog myself down with other
Yeah, yeah.
people's.
I don't. I mean, I know the whole thing. They did something at San Diego Comic Con was like a conference meeting in Ohio. Like the whole thing is a nightmare, right? And again, I'm not a lawyer. All I know is that it's bad. It is the position. To say the least. To say the least. I think I could say that without getting into trouble. But the reason why I bring all this up is that I think DTC, direct to consumer, is really where I think comics are going. I think it's where the money's at, and I think that there's that's where I think all this is. Whether that's through Kickstarter, whether that's conventions, whether that's just selling your books directly to comic shops. And I'm curious how you feel about that because I don't foresee Diamond or direct retail to be where comics are going to be going in the next 10 years. I
Well,
just
no, I mean, I do see that it's still going to be the comic industry that you know. Diamond is gone, but also too, like it was. They didn't leave. They didn't. They. I mean, I don't know. They're not gone. They're still there. But I mean, like they didn't. They didn't go away, and there's no one else to pick up the slack. Like Penguin Random House is still doing like is distributing Marvel and a bunch of other books. I think it's Boom. Lunar does DC, but then there's also Universal. That's the Canada-based company that actually I think they're trying to start doing comic distribution in America too. So you have these things that are growing, and they're gonna fill the void of Diamond. It's going to be different, and it's going to be hard, and it's not going to be easy for any retailers or the publishers
this
trying to.
this is how I see it though, and I'm curious is that there's more comics being produced than ever before.
Oh, definitely.
And I think obviously, I don't think the big guys are too concerned because they're not going to be affected whoever they go with because their volume is so high and their business is so high that from a cost perspective, it's just moving one box.
Yeah, so you're saying more like independent publishing and independent distribution.
And so this is where what I guess I'm asking is that before I think what the whole diamond thing has done is that I think it's actually because a lot of independents weren't going to get into diamond anyway, but I think it's also forced a different business model of saying this could happen and this was a disaster. And I think people have come to the conclusion that direct to consumer is the answer, especially on an independent level.
Well,
And
I think you're right. I think you're right to a point on like, especially with the independent stuff. Like, I mean, for me, it's basically my business model. My business model is create the stuff, take it through Kickstarter. Like, I pay for all the art and all that stuff in advance, and I use Kickstarter to pay for the printing and recuperate as much money as I can on the book that I paid to get made. And then I take that book and then I sell. I contact retailers, which I've been doing. I get the retailers to carry not as many as I want, but to carry my book in their store. And then I also have my website. Then I also do conventions. Like so, like, and then I've been doing recently. I've been teaming up with these guys. Been letting me come on and kind of use their platform. It's called Astonishing Comics, and they do like live stream selling every like Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. So they let me come on every time I finish a book or when I'm about to launch a book. So I'm like, that shows a whole other like a whole network I didn't even know about. I was like, oh my God, like you can sell directly through there. I'm actually teaching myself TikTok selling this week. So like I'm gonna be selling through TikTok. And then you have what's it called? What's the other one? Not eBay live selling, but you have eBay live selling, and then you also have the what's the whatnot. So like that, like so there is a bigger opportunity if you're willing to put the work in for independent creators to kind of seek out like not distribution. I mean distribution, but sales like and a fan base. Like so, like yes, it's a different game for independents, and you gotta want it, and you gotta. And the thing is like that's the tough part. Is like you got it's a lot of work to keep it moving. Like that's the thing is like I write it, I edit it, book everything, then you pay everybody, then you print everything, then you contact all the retailers yourself, you sell it there, then you go to all the conventions, you sell it there, and then you also ship it all out of your house. Well, currently out of like multiple places, but like it takes me like a full week to ship out like 222 packages. Like, and that's not doing anything else. That's me working from like 9 a.m. to like 4 a.m. every day, like getting all the packages out. So
Oh,
it's
I know, I know, I know.
it's
At my prime time, so last year in December, and I was pissed. I sold 110 Caitlin Clark cards. I don't think people understand. You put it into an envelope, you print. My printer was running for 3 hours straight printing out these labels. And then you gotta cut the label, then you gotta stick the label, you gotta put it in. Now, luckily, the cards were sent to me in plastic top loaders, so the cards were protected, so I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to put them in penny sleeves. Saved me probably 2-3 hours, but that probably took me about 6-7 hours
well,
to
I,
ship out
I do
110.
cards.
And here's the crazier part. What I learned, and this is a valuable lesson, you can't ship out 110 items the same way. In which that what I learned is that about 10 of them got lost in the mail.
Oh
So
man,
what I now do is that I actually stagger my packages. And so the about 6 months ago, I shipped out 60 packages in a weekend or had them all printed out. I staggered them every other day. Not one was lost.
nice. Hey, yeah, it sucks. It's tough.
But 110 packages of cards. And I mean, it's just like a stack. I mean, it's a stack of cards. They come all like wrapped. 25 of them come in a wrapped envelope to
No,
me.
that's, I mean, like I got. Well, I mean, I make my own cards, so like I had to you had to put them in the penny sleeves. You got to put them in the hard plastics. Like, so those go with like pretty much every order I ship out is like I spend a day just putting cards together, and then you spend a day just doing art prints, and then you spend a day just doing bags and boards. Like I was doing like I think I was doing I bagged and boarded just in the first two books alone like I don't know like 4,000 books so far. Like, so it's like it adds up. Time adds up. Like even the shipping labels, it takes me 10 hours to print like 150 shipping labels. Like it takes me a whole day. I just throw on Disney Plus, throw on Marvel movies, and I just let them run as I'm just packing and shipping and running things like that. Like, I mean, I kind of like shipping, but I hate when it takes me away from writing and doing all the other stuff I want to do. But I mean, that's if I hire anybody ever, if I can make some money doing this, the first thing I'm doing is someone to print labels.
Again. I have to figure out a better solution. Obviously, I don't have one, but it's so complicated to do it. And I mean, shipping has gone up. I
Yeah,
mean, it used to be that it was 64 cents on cards, one card. Now it is 74 cents. So it went up by 10 cents. And my selling a card and on eBay, for those who don't know, single cards for the most part, unless it's an over $20 card, it's free shipping. That's the market standard. So when you're selling a card you bought for 4 and selling it for 9, 74 cents cuts in. An extra 10 cents per card on shipping cuts in deep.
yeah.
I mean, it may not seem like a lot, but when you're sending out 110 packages and they're 10 cents more than they were 18 months ago.
Well, even shipping is crazy because like people don't look like I mean like with Kickstarter you charge for shipping when you do that, but then you don't realize like okay like you're gonna spend $2,000 on shipping 200 packages like and you're like oh man like you're charging for it, but it's like just to see that go you're like oh man it's crazy how much shipping costs people and how much it takes to go out there. And it's like then it's always you're sweating because like you don't want anything lost, you don't want damages. Like luckily I've only had like knock on wood or whatever, but like I've only had like three major damages where I'm like, oh God. And like if you're shipping internationally at like a like certain packages aren't covered by insurance unless you pay the crazy extra stuff. Like it's chaos that you don't plan for. Like that stuff I never planned for. Like I knew how to pack and I knew how to like ship things, but I had to buy a label maker. I had to teach myself how to like to send international stuff. I had to teach myself like So like that stuff's kind of like it's interesting and it's fun. Like I love learning. That's why one thing I love about having a house is like there's so many things that go wrong and I get to learn new things, but I'm frustrated for a whole week before I fix them. like, cause you know, like you watch a video and it's like, this will take 5 minutes. I'm like, that's going to take me 5 hours, but thank you. Like, and then so that's one thing you don't think about when
It's
you do that
interesting,
stuff.
right? We talk about learning, right? I mean, my biggest pet peeve, and people hate me in comments when I say this, is that I ask people if they know what a CAC is, and I ask people if they know what RECAC is,
No.
and CAC is customer acquisition cost,
Oh,
and
okay.
RECAC
All right.
is retention of customer. So your CAC is how much it costs you to acquire a customer,
Yeah.
and RECAC is retaining that customer. And it drives me mad when people say, "Oh, Andrew, you don't know anything about composites. You haven't done one." Yet here I am running a business selling them. And when I say, "Well, every business operates the same way. The product you sell is not the same. So if I'm selling you a car or a comic, I'm still selling you something."
Yeah.
There is a variety of things that are massively similar. Almost 95% of it is similar. Comics and selling comics and selling cars, it's 95% similar because all of the same components that actually make the sale are there. And then you go into CAC, does it cost you to acquire a customer? What does it cost Toyota to acquire a customer for their Toyota? What does it acquire you to get somebody to buy your book? And
Well,
it can be different on Kickstarter and can be different at a convention, right?
well, that's
And
also that changes the way you price your products too.
that
That's the
is
thing. So you're not selling a car for the price of a comic because you're looking for repeat customers on a quick basis, a week to week basis, or month to month basis with a comic book. Where a car, you're looking for a repeat business potentially every, let's say, 3 to 7 years for whatever the leases are. So like, yeah. So like, I mean, sales is sales. Like
what
sales.
what cars where dealerships make money is they don't make money on the car.
No,
They
it's a
make money
financing.
on the service.
Well,
That's where they make
they
their real
get you
money.
into financing. They get you to they get you to finance through them, and then you're
A
paying.
little bit. They actually make most of their money on the service. Did you know that?
No,
So the reason why they make most of the money on the service is because the service it's you're paying up front for it, and typically they can upcharge you, especially at the front of the lease, right? So because they get all the profit on the service. On the lease, they don't get all that profit. A lot of the lease actually goes back to the person or the where they bought the car from. Because a lot of this car stuff is actually bought on credit.
okay.
It's so interesting, right? But the point I'm making is that when I talk to people in comms, it drives me mad because I'm like, great, what does it cost you to acquire a customer? And how do you not know these answers? And then when people give me shit for this, I'm like, it's really important to know how much it costs to acquire a customer and what it costs to retain a customer. And then the other thing is, what is the value of your customer? Because if you know your average backer is spending $35, it doesn't matter what you price your book at if you're making a profit on their $35 every time they come back.
No, well, it changes how much money you're willing to spend on marketing, which is going to conventions, which is Facebook ads, which honestly I don't see any return on those. I've done them twice, and I've seen like I personally have not seen any return on it. But it's like you got that's where you gotta like you're gonna have your backer. Your backers are your backers, and you're gonna grow based. The hard thing with comics is like not everybody's just like that's the difference between like your comic and car scenarios. That a car is the most difference is like, all right, this one might drive different, or it's going to get me more miles to the gallon, or it's an electric car, whatever it is. Comics are different. You're selling an idea and entertainment value, where it's like maybe I don't want to read about a unicorn, maybe I want to read about hell, but maybe I want to read about Batman, or I want to read about this. So like every time you
I
come out with a new
agree.
book that isn't your if you're coming out with the same book every month, that's different where you're like, okay, I know that I had 1,000 people buy this book and I'm probably going to have 800 people buy this book now because the way with comics go is you lose readership on the from the first to the second issue, second to third to fourth. That's why a lot of times you want to make your story arcs a little bit shorter. It's one of the reasons why I made my books a little bit longer so it gives more story, so you get more of a chance and more story out there. Because my goal is to sell stories and tell stories. But
You bring up a good point. You also bring up a good point. And the other thing too that I think is interesting is that your first covers A through D, which are what I call just covers A through D, the standard covers. If
yeah,
you
they're my shelf. They're the shelf books. They're the store shelf covers.
that's a good word to use, right? Everybody has a different way how they describe it, right? So those are $12. And
Yeah.
I mean, what is the average comic in a store? What is that? $5-6 now?
So a 20-page book from DC is $4.99. So these are 48-page books, and they're actually outside of the Kickstarter. They're they're $6.99. They're $7 books, but they're $12 on the campaign because they come with a digital copy and they come with the collectible card. But
So you get where I'm going with the question, right? Is that I mean you've seen it where somebody's offering their shelf book for $25 on Kickstarter.
yeah, I got like that. I mean, look, I'm never going to tell anybody to run their business differently, especially they didn't ask me to give them information. But I mean, like for me as a fan, that doesn't compute to me. I wanted to make sure I made books at a price that I can sell them to retail stores and they can buy them in a store. Like $6.99 is reasonable to me for 48 pages. Like so, like a normal, it's $5.99 for a 32-page book.
The reason why I bring this up is that I go through Kickstarter and I'm like, that's not a $25 book.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, and I look at even variants and I'm like, that's not a $25 variant either, right? Because it's a lot of money to ask me to go and spend $12 on something. I hate to say it on a comic book. That's a brand new idea. And it has nothing to do with you. It's the same thing with Pat Shand, right? Nothing against Pat, right? I love Pat. But I don't think he's gonna mention his name, right? Or Travis Gibb. Nothing against those people. But it's a lot to fucking ask me to spend $25 on a brand new concept that isn't proven, that I may or may not like, and especially if I don't know who the hell you are. Like, it's a lot to ask, and it has nothing to do.
100%. But I mean, that's our job. Our job is to make sure that you know everything about that book, get excited about that book, go to conventions, get excited to talk with us about our books. Like that's where our work, besides being a writer and a creator, has to come in. You have to learn the market, and you have to be able to do that because it's insane to ask someone who's never, and believe me, I feel it every time I go to a convention. I'm talking to a person that's never heard of me, never talked to me, never read a book I've done, and I'm sitting here trying to tell them, trying to sell them a $12 book or a $25 book or whatever it is, and I have to explain to them why it's worth that, and they decide if it's not, like, and that's perfectly fine. Like you got to be okay with that, and I have to, like, I've had like talks with people where they're like, oh, why do you price it like? Excuse me, why do you price it like this? Why is this price? So I try to, like, at least on my end, I justify it based on what I would spend on something or what makes sense to me. So like if I have $25 books on my Kickstarter and there's only 250 copies available, I'm like, it's because it's all that exists. And it's fine if you don't want to buy that because I'm trying to sell stories. I want people to read my books. I love people collecting my books, but at the same time, like, you have, like, it's built into my business model of like comics are tough, they're expensive, and you got to basically find a way to pay for the comics you want to tell.
Let's talk about this because you said something. You said I think an important word. This shit's expensive to do.
Yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Average cost of a book without maybe two variants, 4,500 to 6K.
No, well, I mean, it depends on how many story pages you're doing. So, like, if you're doing like a 22-page book,
28 pages, 4,500, 6K to cover A, cover B.
I mean, let's say like 6 to 8 grand. Like you're probably spending 6 to 8 grand just to get the stuff drawn, colored, lettered, printed, and if you're not paying yourself the writer,
I'm not even talking about the printing yet. I'm talking about just the artwork
and you can get it done. I mean, yeah, like, well, it depends. Like, depends on the quality of the book. It depends on the artist you hire.
Work with me. There's a reason why I'm doing this in the way I'm doing it, right? Because the way I'm breaking it down is because I think it's important, right? Is you got to write the idea, then you got to get it drawn, you got to pay for that, right? And that comes out of your money because you didn't start kickstarting yet, right? Yeah. Then you got to get it colored, lettered, handled, and then you say, well, you know what it is? Maybe I don't need 50 variants, but I at least need 2, maybe 3, right? You say, look, I'm going to go conservative. We're going to have 3 variants. And that's all before you even got a fucking dime back.
But yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not talking about printing yet. I'm talking about getting the thing done, right? Like,
I know. Like that's what I'm doing now. I'm literally working on. I'm working on 4 books at once, but I'm right now. I'm working on 3 different campaigns right now to get stuff ready, and it's like you start seeing it like, oh man, like, and you get hopeful. Like I mean, like I'm hopeful that enough that like the ideas and the things I'm creating and the fans that I'm growing are going to stick with me. I mean, they can easily be like, no, I'm good, like, and then I'm out. And it's just like, but you got to take that risk, or you're not gonna be able to do it. But yeah, what you're saying, like comics are super expensive before you even get to the printing part, and they're super expensive. Like, and even that, like you're talking about doing only 3 variants. Okay, let's just say you're selling them for $25 each, and then but you're a new creator and you've never written anything before. No one's ever heard of you, and you have 30 friends and family members. You're not going to make any of your money back. You're not even going to make enough money to pay for the printing by selling 3 $25 books to your 30 friends and family. It's just not going to, it just doesn't matter.
I'll give you an analogy. So I got offered, and somebody's running something, flipping graded cards, right? And their philosophy is that you go and you find cards, and the whole pitch was that you go buy $100 card, right? And then you flip it, and you sell for 300. It comes back a PSA 10. And I know some people are not going to get this, but just bear with me because the math is going to make sense in a second here. But you gotta essentially every week you buy. They say start off with 3, so you spend $300. You then got to get it graded. You got to wait 4 weeks. Grading is going to cost you $75. So your first week you're $375. You don't have any product yet. You don't know what grade you're getting. Then in week 2, you spend another $375. You got to wait another 4 weeks for it to get back. So by the end of the first month, you have pumped in 375 times 4, and then you're getting your first card back, or your first batch, your first 3 back, and then you still got to sell it. So you essentially have to outlay almost $1,900. Plus, you got to pay for a PSA membership, which is another 2. So you got to lay out $2,100. And essentially, I mean, I'm not saying it's very similar to laying out money in comics to the point.
I think that's any business, any business that you're creating a product and you're creating something that, like, I mean, it's different if you're selling bottled water. Everybody drinks water, and it's a lot easier to sell. That's why 50 Cent's a billionaire because he bought. But I mean, it's just a difficult thing. And it's a learning experience, and you gotta be smart about it. And like I'm not a smart person. Like I'm not stupid, but I'm not like all
I'm
this
not
stuff
smart either. Actually, I'm a genius, but that's not the point here. No. I'm not smart. I just understand the rules of life.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like all this stuff is like the stuff I thought I knew starting in February to the stuff I know now. It's like a 180. It's like things like certain things are what I know they are. I know how to make a comic book. I know how to write. I know how to do all that stuff. And it was just the other things where you're like, all right, you did not have this right. Or like, okay, like here's a better way to do it. And like that's part of the experience of this stuff. Like for me, like if I could just write comics all day and then put them on Kickstarter and make enough money to be able to like, all right, let's fill it and make the next one. Awesome. I mean, that's the goal in the end. I'm not looking to make $1 million. I'm looking to be able to make my comics, pay my bills, make the next comic book, pay my like, that's it. I just want to make a living, and I want to make sure that people enjoy it, and I get to have fun, and I get to bring fun to other people, whether it's like crazy horror, or crazy comedy, or whatever it is. But the business of it is definitely it's the most difficult part about making comic books. If you
see, I'm such the opposite, right?
Yeah,
like
I want to create. I don't want to. I love owning this stuff and I love doing it, but like, I don't want to spend my time figuring out like these like marketing strategies and this sales strategy. I want to just write all day, but like I'm getting to do this stuff and it's making me appreciate more the work that goes into this stuff. And
you're learning what it means to have a marketing team in a company behind you, and so that you can delegate to your strength. Right? Is that a fair assessment? Because
no, I'm used to working in a team environment. Like it's tough when you become the team. It's tough when you're the point guard, the shooting guard, the forward, the center, and the head coach, like, and the general manager. Like it's hard when you're drafting yourself to play for yourself, to pass to yourself, to score. It's a tough thing to do, but at the same time, it can be done. Like that. That's the cool thing, and that's why I got like when you brought up Pat earlier. Like I love what Pat Shannon's done. And that stuff, like watching him and seeing that, it gives me a lot of hope because he's shown a path where you can take something and make something and build it up. And the same thing at Zenescope, like just watching those guys take something from nothing and building it into something, like that's what gives me hope and it gives me the drive on top of wanting to create this stuff. And it's almost like a newfound respect of like, all right, I get it. Like I understand the sweat equity you got to put into this, like, the work you got to put into this. I wake up every day, and it's not a joke. I wake up every day like, should I keep doing this? Is this what you want to do? And it's like, yeah, look at my books. I'm like, this is exactly what I want to do.
I'll ask you a question. Have you ever woken up with night terrors?
I used to when I worked at Zenescope and I first took over the editing. I used to wake up in the middle of the night thinking I missed sending out emails to book covers because I was booking like 40 covers a month. So like it was all new to me. So I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, I didn't send that email. And I'm like, what's going on? And that was like the first 6 months. And then I did it for like a decade. So like after a while, you're kind of just like, oh, it becomes normal. Like,
I tell this story, right? It's that I went from legitly like 4,000 to 14 to 26,000. And now I'm going to be doing a lot more this year. Hopefully I'm going to be ending my year around 55,000 in sales. So big trajectory, right? I don't think people understand going from 14 to $26,000 is a whole different ball game because crossing that 20,000 mark in sales, and by the way, it resets every year. So it's not like, you're going from 14, it's not 8, it's legitimately going from 0 to 26 in 12 months. So what happened for 3 months as I was moving so much fucking capital where I was buying and selling cards that I didn't have yet, but I had purchase orders for. So I was moving so much capital that legitly capital was coming into my account and then it was going out of my account, but I was selling essentially and borrowing against my own credit because I was buying that stuff on a Saturday and my bank account wasn't getting charged. So like there was legitimately sweeps of like $20,000 in my bank account at times. Insane, right? And and there was other things going on too, and I was gambling the same way. Don't crazy. Don't ever do that. But I had during that time period as well. I had gambling positions where I was because your account doesn't get charged. So money was coming in that I won that wasn't even processed of being taken out. But what happens as a result of that is you start having night terrors because you're moving around so much capital that legitimately the capital expenditure I added it up. It was almost like $110,000 in 90 days of sweeps going both ways. It wasn't that much money. It was significantly less, but the way it was calculated in my bank account is that the positives versus the exits, it was like 110,000 sweeping both ways. And you start to have night terrors until you live through that. That is insanity. And that, like, I can't even explain, but like at like 3 a.m, you're screaming as if somebody's stabbing you.
I didn't have that. But I mean, like I woke up like paralyzed. And you're just like, what's going on? Like even then, I used to do that with like the Zenescope, like not with the money, but it was more the covers. Like, when I left there in February, I was doing like 800 covers a year. Like we were booking 800. So it was like with all the variants and all the alternate versions of it, not including all the special extra stuff. It was like 800 covers, and that's not like a joke. Like it was literally like probably between 780 to 800. So like to get up to that, the process that like if I went from like booking 10 covers to 800 covers, my brain would explode. But it's like you have to incrementally do it. Like where you're talking about, like you went from like 8 to 16 to 24. Like you went very quickly, where it wasn't like a small increment of like, all right, this month I did 8, next month I did 10, then I did 12. So yeah, I can definitely see the crushing weight of like, what if this doesn't go right, or what if that's off, or like, oh my God, this is moving. Like, am I doing it right?
It was so aggressive and this year is less aggressive, but it was like the Caitlin Clark effect essentially. And it was just that everything of hers was selling and it was moving within like 30 minutes as soon as I put it up on eBay. And the problem is that when you're moving that much volume, that much product, that much shipping, you're just like, how the fuck do you even keep up? And my girlfriend at the time, she's like, yeah, you're gonna have to sleep on the couch. Like I can't do this with you. I mean, but like she saw it and she's like, holy shit, like this is hyper growth. And so like, but a lot of outlay of capital, but like it's crushing weight and I can't explain it. But like
Oh
until
yeah,
you
I understand it. Like I live it every morning now. It's it's because you gotta like to at least I'm probably wrong. Who knows? But I like to do a business. You gotta take a lot of risk, and you gotta take a lot of like faith, and not faith. It's not like a faith thing. You gotta have a lot of like trust in yourself and your instincts, and also like sometimes you need to need someone else to bounce like ideas, thoughts off of. But like it's a lot. It's a lot to do this stuff, and continue to be a functioning human being.
let me ask you a question, and I'm curious how you feel about this. Do you feel that the customer has any idea? Because and I'll tell you
No,
my
they
experience.
don't need to. Like that's not their job. Their job is to like something, pay money to like that stuff, and then support that thing. My job is to make sure that you don't know any of the drama that goes into reading the story. Like some people like that. You like the behind the scenes stuff on like a movie or whatever it is. But some people just like to watch the movie. So like it's not fair to make the people that just want to watch a movie or just want to read a comic book to have to
See,
know all the other stuff.
I don't know though, because this is how I feel. Maybe I'm the odd one out here. I feel like there's an element though where the consumer should be educated to a degree, right? So I don't think we're in a world anymore where I don't think a consumer should be forced with the accounting, right? But I think to some degree, it could like if I'm buying a comic, I mean, I think that it's hard, and I think to some degree that educated consumers should know that, hey, this is hard. There's a lot of shit that goes into this. There's a lot of risk that goes into this. I don't think you're so much absolved from it anymore because,
No,
especially when you're backing on Kickstarter,
well,
especially.
it definitely helps you as an independent. If like when if people know what goes into it and they respect that, it might make them buy something that they might not have bought or support something they might not have supported. But again, it's nobody's it's nobody's obligation to make sure that you get to live your dream. Like there's no like I'm doing
I
what I
agree with
can
that.
do, and I get to make comics every day, and I get to do what my dream is. But the customer doesn't have an obligation to make sure I get to keep doing that just because I'm working hard.
Yes.
That's the
I
sad
agree with
reality of it. Like that's what sucks a little bit because you're like, look, I'm working really hard, but that doesn't matter to you. Like what matters to you is you get the book, you get the product, and like if you appreciate that I work hard, like thank you, I appreciate that. But I'm
Again, my viewpoint is that I don't think there's an excuse for somebody not to know how difficult this is, right?
yeah.
They don't have an obligation to buy, right? The same thing with a podcast, where anybody who does a podcast and is in front of a microphone, I think you have to give some respect because public speaking is one of the hardest things to do in the world.
Oh, 100%. Or even that, like the podcast, like, I couldn't run a podcast. Like I know that already. Like I can come on and talk on somebody else's because like I'm an idiot and I'm just gonna say words. But I mean, like it's like it is like there's a lot of work and it's like making your own comics. Like, and this is before starting my own company. But making your own comics or making your own thing or creating something yourself, a podcast, a comic, whatever it is, like it creates a newfound respect. And I keep saying that for some reason, but it creates a newfound respect. Like I used to watch movies and be like, this movie sucks, or this movie should have never been made, or I'm like trashing this movie, where I'm like reading this book or reading that thing, and I'm like, no, like a lot of people put a lot of work into this. Like some people might have put less work than other people put into it, but it's like I kind of feel for some people where I'm like, all right, look, you tried, you put an effort in, wasn't for me. I'm moving on. I also might not have faith in like buying your next thing because I didn't like this thing, and that's that's kind of like the responsibility as a person. Like, I'm not going to sit here and trash other people's stuff, whether I like their comic or
Yeah.
whether I like their book or
There's
whether.
no obligation. The point that I'm making is that anybody who goes out in public to speak on them. So, like for instance, somebody did a really shitty job. I'm not gonna say who it was because I know the person's a friend. They were presenting at a anime convention and they were not a good presenter, right? I have respect for them for going out and trying. I'm not gonna not say they're a bad person. I'm not gonna not say because the first time I did it, I sucked, right? But I got better, right? But the point is that I'm not gonna bash the shit out of somebody, right? But I also don't have an obligation to sit through their next presentation if I don't want.
Exactly. You got to earn that. You got to earn that from the customers. You got to earn that from you got to earn people's time, and that's the biggest thing about this stuff is you got to like your time is your time, and what you do with it is what you do with it. But to take other people's time is it's a privilege.
But I do think that to some degree, if it's your first panel and AnimeCon gives you an opportunity, I think that if they have the space and there's few presentations, I don't think that you should be disqualified just because you had a bad outing. I've had a bunch of bad outings on panels at anime and comic cons, and I've had a bunch of ones where I just killed the room.
Like I
So
said, you might have a bad day. You might have like there's a lot of things that go into it, but you can't control how other people view your work, and that's out of your control. You can't. All you can do is do the best you can do, and then do better the next time, and then do better the next time, and do better the next time. Like, I can write all these books, and I can have 100 people like it, or 99 people like it, one person hate it. That's just what it is. Like, you can't do anything about that. What you don't want is you don't want 99 people hating it, one person liking it. But I mean, but you gotta keep going. You gotta keep pushing. You gotta get better. You
it's also the
can't
idea.
half-ass it.
You could just have a campaign that just failed. I mean, I'm not going to say who, but I thought somebody had a solid, better than average book, had a lot of good artists on it, and the campaign should have done 25,000, and it barely scratched 13. And
Campaigns are hard, man. Kickstarter is that's one thing I did not realize. I knew they weren't gonna be easy, but I didn't realize how much of a grind it really is. Of like even that, like I harass people on Facebook, Instagram. I did the ads. Like, you do the conventions. I did the handouts at the
I
convention.
hate
Like,
Facebook ads. I
was
hate
it?
Facebook ads. I said this before, and everybody gave me shit for it. I said, pay to play is here. Pay to play is here. We look at some of the top campaigns that do 100,000 and do 60, 70, 80,000. A lot of them are using ads and they're using ad services. And pay to play is here. And I said it 5 years ago. People gave me shit for it. And it's here. And it's an issue. And that's why all these marketing Kickstarter companies pop up.
Yeah.
And it's a problem because it actually, quote unquote, poisons the well.
Well, yeah, also too, I don't trust half of these things. Like, I get like ever since I've done these, I get like a million emails a day from like, grow your marketing campaign, grow this. And I'm like, I don't know if you're a real thing or not. Like, and I'm like, I'm not being the guinea pig to do it. Like, I'm not gonna like I don't have any money to give you. Plus, also too, like all you're doing is creating another hand that's taking out of my pocket when it's like there's nothing going to my pocket anyway. like it's like I'm just like I'm good. Like, I can't. Like, that's why I'll work my ass off and I'll keep doing these things, and I got to find new ways to do it. Like, that's like it's work. Like, if you're gonna stand, you're gonna do comic books, and you think I'm just gonna write a comic book, people are gonna love my stuff and they're gonna buy everything. Like, this is a job. Like, you got to do work for a job, regardless if it's a fun job or not. You got to go out and do it. If you're a baseball player, you go out and you gotta hit the ball. You gotta catch the ball. You gotta play the field.
No, no. You don't have to hit the ball. You just got to get on base.
Well, true. No, but I mean, but you got to play the rules and you got to play the game. You can't go out there and when it's your turn to bat and you're like, I don't feel like it. Just put me on base. And they're like, nah, that's not how it works. Why don't you not play? Like, and that's the thing too. Like, it's a job. It's work. You have to do work and you have to be okay with that. And if you're not okay with that, like, that's your choice. You don't have to. You can go work for someone else. You can go get another job.
My position is that everything in my life is great. How much money do I have to spend, right? So how much money I want to pump into this, right? So my position is the following, and it kills my soul, right? A guest wants to be paid. And I'm like, great. how much. And I mean, I had a cosplayer. She wanted to be paid $100. And here's what irked me about the position. And it's a pet peeve of mine. She said, my viewers enjoy when I'm interviewing and I want to charge you $100 to be on your show. It wasn't the money that
I'm
bothered
only charging 99, so I get it. Like, I understand.
what bothered me the most out of that is that it was about her.
Well,
And
and it's also like you're using someone else's platform, and then you want them to pay you for you using what they have that you didn't have. It's like
so your users benefit.
it's like me going to your restaurant and saying like you're gonna pay me to bring my friends here to eat all your food. It's like that doesn't make any sense. How about you pay for the table and your food, and you pay us? This is a business. Like that doesn't make sense to me. But I mean, look, people do that, and people get to a certain point where like I whatever your business is, your business. Like there's people that charge for certain things, or they do this. Like I mean,
It's funny. So what actually happens to me is that when somebody does that, usually they don't get very far. They usually don't. Then which they might be a guest at a convention, but then 6 months, 8 months later, I circle back. They're like, yeah, I'll come on. They don't charge anymore.
it's ego and then ego busting. It's the ego popping. But like I don't know. I mean, an ego is needed to do a lot of this stuff. Like creative podcast, you need an ego to a level. You don't want to be a egomaniac where everything's you, but you need an ego to the fact that you can be like, I'm adequate enough to like say these things. I'm knowledgeable enough to do these things. I'm smart enough, or I'm talented enough. Like, you have to have that ego. As if not,
That's my ego.
nobody's going to just hand you money because you're a nice person.
My whole position is that I want to be everywhere, right? I used to do a lot of podcast shows. I used to do like 2 a week. And so I think like 3 years ago, I was on a show like 150 times in the year. And I was just like going deep on everything, right? And I didn't charge because I'm like, I want the media. The media is worth more.
Yeah.
Getting my name out there. And I've had interviews that have my eBay business that generate me $80 a year. And that was from 5 years ago. So that to me is worth more than what somebody would pay me. And this is the whole thing about media. I mean, I have clips from interviews that have gotten 40, 50, 60,000 views. Like, you think that person wants to be paid, or do they want the media? Because 60,000 people saw a 2-minute clip and now know their name. What's more valuable?
I think it all depends on the person, and it depends on the thing. Like, again, I'm not going to say no one should charge for their thing. I mean, like, podcast is not built on that. A lot of podcasts that are successful are built on people coming on, not like you're not paying for guests. It's like having a real conversation.
It's an exchange where I'm giving you a media platform and you're coming on for free. And you understand that there might be an ad or two in the podcast, but you're not being charged for the media.
No,
and
but it's reciprocal. Like we're talking, creating content for like your channel, and you're giving me a platform to reach people that I normally wouldn't reach. That's a fair trade. And because it's like otherwise, it would, if you didn't have guests, it would just be you talking to people, and that works sometimes. If you're like, what's the one comedian, Tim, I forget his name, but like, so like it's reciprocal. Like you're giving a platform, and then they're helping you create content. But at the same time, it's like you need each other to a degree, but you don't need each other. It's like you don't need, like, your life's going to go on if you didn't have me on your show. I appreciate you having me on your show, but like, again, like if I was like, all right, I need $1,000 for you to let me come on to tell them about my stuff. It's like, what is that? Like that's insanity.
It's the way I view it is that a friend of mine said, this is what you should ask. What is your followers? What are you going to do to market it? How many people are you going to bring in? And what I don't like is that it has to become a business transaction then. And it's no different than when you hire an artist. It's no different than when you do anything in comics. When somebody wants to be paid for their work, you have to ask questions that now become a work relationship, and it ruins the natural flow of the conversation.
Well, I mean, but that's business. You got that's different because you're not. I mean, it kind of falls in the same line. Like if you were paying like if you're like, you know what, this guest is hot. Every time they go on a podcast, they get 1 million views, and they're like, they know that, and they're like, you know what, you got to give me 10 grand to come on your podcast. I'm going to give you 1 million views. Like that's different when they're selling like something like that, but it's I don't know. Like I don't know the whole podcast thing on that.
If somebody said I need 10 grand and I'm going to get you 1 million views, then let's figure this out, right? Because then I know if you're going to get me 1 million views, I can sell advertisements on that, and I can go to a lot of people, and I can go to a company saying, look, I'm having so and so on, you know, I'm having John Cena on my show, right? Bam, that's going to take care of itself.
It just looks like this.
What?
It's John Cena, so there's nobody there. That joke.
Exactly. But the point I'm making is that if I know that somebody's going to bring me 10,000 views or 1 million, if somebody's going to bring me 1 million views in 2 weeks, no brainer, right? Because that's going to get me subscribers. It's going to take care of itself, right? But I would say, look, I can do it, but you got to guarantee it. If you don't bring me those views, I'm not going to pay you.
No, well, so but that's the tough thing. Like I was going to say, it relates to comics the same way. Say if I want to get an artist that we know is going to sell. Say if I was like, all right, I'm going to get J. Scott Campbell because you know everything he does, it sells out, or whatever artist you're going to get. They're going to charge a premium if they're going to even accept your. Like say they whatever they have the time to do it. They're going to fit in a schedule. They're going to charge you more than what a normal like your normal regular artist is going to charge you because they know. Regardless, it doesn't matter to them if you sell out or not, but they know for a fact that like you're hiring them because you're taking the chance of selling out on them. So like comics and the podcast, it's definitely a little bit different, only because I guess it's like you're like I don't know, like if they're professional artists, so you're hiring a professional artist to do a job. These people, you're not hiring professional podcasters. You're hiring people that do other things to come on. Like it'd be different if you're like, I don't know, you paid the Kelsey brothers like 30 grand to like come on your podcast, you know, like something weird. I don't know how it would work.
That'd be great. Having a beer with Jason Kelsey, that'd be great. Yeah, my podcast, that'd be great.
That would be cool.
I would pay 50 grand for that.
I don't know if we want to pay 50 grand for that. I mean, he might just drink a beer with you.
He's just fantastic. I enjoy him. I enjoy my Monday Night Football. I enjoy Jason Kelsey. But let's be realistic.
Favorite birds and all. He's one of my favorite Eagles.
It was great. It was great when WrestleMania was in Philadelphia. That was great.
Yeah,
he came out. That whole thing was great. But again, you know, he's a nice, boring individual. You know, that's what I like about him. Like, I do not expect him to be like at night in the club. Like,
he's not. Oh, there's videos of him just dancing, getting drunk and dancing. He's probably a fun dude.
He's a fun guy, but I don't expect him to have a DUI. Like,
no, I mean, things happen, but I don't expect him to like if you hang out with him, he's not gonna be like, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna go bury someone. Like, wait, what? Like, can't we just drink a beer? No. We're gonna go find someone, and we're gonna like, all right. No, I'm good.
It's whatever. But all I know is that Travis Kelce needs to break up with Taylor Swift if he wants to win a Super Bowl.
I don't think that's happening. They're engaged now, and Travis better have the best season of his career because I have him on my fantasy. So.
He is just it's whatever because they looked horrible, the Chiefs. You know, and I like the Chiefs. I like the
Eagles beating them in the Super Bowl. That's my favorite memory of the Chiefs.
My favorite memory of the Eagles is not see the Chiefs victory wasn't that great, right? I understand for you it was. The Patriots victory was very sweet.
The Eagles over Patriots?
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah, that's
much better.
Super Bowl. I'm all for that all day, every day.
Much better game. Much better.
Well, it was definitely a more because it was an actual like back and forth game. Like the last Super Bowl, just like I'm happy about it, but like it wasn't like a crazy game of football. It wasn't It wasn't just this Bills Ravens game. It wasn't JD McCarthy coming back on like last night. Like it's like that game just fell apart.
It wasn't the Buccaneers versus whoever that was, because that was a great game.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's I don't know. We digress.
I'm just saying that the Eagles beating the Patriots, oh, that was great because
No,
because
that's feeling.
Patrick Mahomes is good, but he's not Tom Brady.
I don't know. Oh, well, we got years to see. We'll see what happens. I mean, yeah, he's not showing it now, so we'll see.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I mean, against the Chargers. I mean, you're playing the goddamn Chargers. Oh my god, just. There was just failure in that circumstance. It was, and I had money on the Chargers, and I was just like, yeah, let's go, let's see what happens.
Yeah, Herbert looks good.
But I digress. All I know is that I don't know. I think it's Buffalo's year, to be honest, in football. I really do.
I hope not. I mean, mostly it's all Eagles all the time, man. All Eagles all the time. We'll see.
I mean, you could have Buffalo versus the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Be an intense one. Yeah, it'd be crazy.
I mean, that'd be a good game. It'd be a good game. I understand you're going to be nervous in that game, and I'll be honest. I don't know who you take. I don't know who you take in that game because I think it's going to be a good fight. I mean, I don't know I don't even know where the Super Bowl is. I don't think the cold weather is going to really affect.
No, I mean, like, well, even that they have Super Bowls in domes and stuff like that. So, like, they're not worried. I don't even remember where it is this year.
Yeah, I don't think they ever want the Super Bowl in like a cold weather environment. Because playing when you can't see the lines on the ground is not a fun position. But we should have Super Bowls in like Oklahoma with lightning and tornadoes. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, just like there's no like a little wind. They throw the ball and then it's a tornado just took it, and then one of the players ends up in Oz.
It'd be great. But
like, where are you broadcasting from? We can pick up your signal, and it's like I don't know. There's a man made of straw, and there's this man with an axe. Get out of there!
Everything is in color.
Like I don't know. The field is gold bricks. Like, okay, like can you bring us some back?
Oh, it'd be great. It'd be great. The whole thing would be great. Just football going to Oz. Oh, it'd be great. I would love a London Super Bowl. That would be cool.
No, I mean, I mean, it would look cool, but like at the same time, like no, you gotta have it in America because I want real fans to go to the game without spending $1 billion to go fly to London just to see it. I mean, most people go to the Super Bowl. I mean, a good chunk of them probably aren't even the fans of the teams. They're just like, all right, let's go because they're expensive.
Oh, they are so expensive. Super Bowl tickets are insane. What is it, like $3,200 for like really bad seats?
Yeah, because I was gonna go when the Eagles beat the Patriots, and then I was like, at the same time, I was saving for a house, and I was like, I'll just save my money for a house and get drunk at home.
I was tempted during that second Giants when they were playing the Patriots for the second time to go, and then I was just like, yeah, I'm in college and I don't have money. I got a little bit of money that my grandmother left me, but like I'm not gonna go take my $12K and spend it on Super Bowl tickets. More responsible adult things to do.
Oh, well, that's why they got OnlyFans now. I'm just if I get to the limit, I'll do OnlyFans. You gotta do what you gotta do. It'll just be a thing of me eating pie all day. Like I'll just eat pumpkin pie, cherry, whatever it is. That's it. You guys get to watch me eat pie out of a trough. But
oh man,
some may not. I'll enjoy the pie.
There's probably a bunch of people who are into that fetish, so we should probably not give people what they want here.
I gotta advertise. I need a backup plan in case in case I fall apart. But yeah, I'll be eating pie.
There's a comic right there. See that should be my comic right there. The podcast comic right there, and it should be just I got a great idea, but I'm not going to tell anybody live.
No, you can't. Well, I mean, you got to keep it to yourself too, unless you're willing to. You don't want to tell people your ideas. Like it's one of the book. Like I've read a bunch of reading books. I can't remember if it's Stephen King on writing, or one of the books. It's like writers write, and it's when you tell your idea and you tell your story, you feel like you've completed it because like you've gotten it out to the world. You told somebody about it, like somebody else knows about it. Like it feels done. So it's less of you going out and actually doing it. It's like saying like, oh, I'm gonna go, like I'm gonna go write this thing and write this story, and then you're like, but I already told it. Like I'll get to it. Like I think it was in the Stephen King on writing book. I don't know.
There was an entrepreneur in Atlanta, and what he said is, when you have a really good $1 million plus idea, be careful who you tell it to.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, yeah, you can't trust everybody. You want to trust as much as you can. Like, I don't like to be cynical and think people are out to get me. But at the same time, you got to know, like, people are opportunistic sometimes, and you can't trust everybody. I mean, it is what it is.
Oh, no. I
Even
know.
the people you trust, sometimes you can't trust. You look at some of these celebrities where, like, they find out that their brothers or their moms or their dads or whatever are stealing all their money. Like even the people you should trust the most, you're like, oh God.
I'm not gonna go name names, but there wasn't something a few months ago that looked very Grant Cardone, very Ty Lopez, very Dan Locke, like that was on Kickstarter, and people that I respected were like really behind it. I'm like, I don't think you guys know what a rug pull and a scam looks like, and I don't think you guys understand what you just did and how bad this truly is. This is like scam 101. And I was just like, okay, like maybe I can't trust certain people in comics. I mean, I'm
Well,
very jaded. I'm very
yeah, I mean,
jaded.
well, it's. I mean, it's every organization. It's not every organization. It's everywhere. Like you're gonna have bad apples. You're gonna have people that suck. I mean, I try not to suck
It's
as a human
people
being.
that I respected, and then you start saying, "What the hell was this? And why are you supporting this?" And then you have a lot of questions. But I digress. Um, it's whatever. It's again. I'm not going to get people in trouble. And
No,
yeah,
well, also too, it's not worth it. It's not worth the energy and the drama. I guess the thing is, like, we all have our own issues, our own things we got to do. Like, I try to stay. Like, I honestly, even with any like subtext, I have no idea what you're talking about. But like, same time, like, it doesn't really matter because like it's not going to help me do what I want to do, so it doesn't matter to me. And like, I'm not a person that's going to rely too much on someone else telling me they're going to do something. Like I don't know. I try
oh
not
no,
to worry about that stuff. You keep
I,
bad
I,
people out
I
of
come
your life.
I come from a world where when I was in DC, I worked on consumer protection for veterans, right? So I view it very differently. When I see something that seems like a scam, I'm like, okay, this is quote unquote supposed to help people in comics. And then my consumer protection hat goes on and says, red flag. And it's one probably out of 1,000 that trigger me to say, wait a second, this is a problem. And this is a consumer protection issue. And this should have never been approved. And then you look at people who you respect in comics getting behind something that you know is a red flag scam. And you're like, this is an issue because it raises questions on, are these people being paid? What are they thinking? Were they being coerced into it?
They
Did they
know.
favor? And you start to question, am I surrounding myself with the right people who have been on my show who I thought were progressing in comics and doing the right thing? And now they've been doing a paid testimonial in an ad for something that seems scammy. And it raises questions. And I think it's a fair issue to say, wait a second, like, what's going on here? Because this seems way off base on what I know of these people.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also too like you can definitely be the canary in the whatever the coal mine and be like, look, guys, this doesn't seem right. There's something going on. We're all breathing in poison. What the hell is happening? And also at the same time, like I don't know, like me personally, I just try not to get involved. Like there's a lot of people in this
I didn't start World
industry.
War III over it.
No, no, see, the industry is very small, but at the same time, it's pretty big, and you can kind of get around in the industry without ever having to deal with some people and like deal with certain things and like
No. It raises, do I need to get away from this group of people?
yeah.
It was a moment where this happened like 3 months ago, and I wasn't getting into confrontation with people, but I'm like, am I missing something here? Because this doesn't seem good.
Yeah.
And it was, I guess, a moment of self-reflection. But I'm also privileged because when I don't want to hang out in comics, I go to cosplayers, I go to wrestlers, and I go to people in the anime voice acting world. So I'm privileged enough that I could take a month outside of this whole thing and I could go speak, and then I speak to models. So it's like,
Yeah, yeah, you don't have to get pulled into it. You're just like, you know what? Now I'm gonna go do my own thing over here. You guys figure out whatever it is you're doing over there. I don't care if you do or not, but I'm gonna do this.
again. I know how it ends, the story, but it just made me stop, and that happens once in a blue moon with everything. I'm like, this seems a little weird,
I
but
mean, look, it's a weird industry. It's a weird. The weird thing is because this industry is mostly made like the independent part of it is mostly made up of a lot of people running a business that, like me, never done it, and like some people go one way and they try to build it the right way, or they try to build it, or they try to steal, or they don't steal, or they try to like. There's a million different people doing a million different things. I don't know. I try to. At the end of the day, I have a whole wall right here of all the things I need to get done every day. So I'm just like, that's where my focus is. It's like getting that done. Whatever else everybody's going to do,
I
cool.
get it. I get it. My day is looking for a job now, trying to figure out my finances, trying to figure out what I'm going to bet on, and trying to make it to the next day in one piece and get home safe.
All right,
And
that's all you can ask for, dude. You got to live. That's the thing is you got to make sure you live every day. Like it's messed up and it's dark, but I look at every day as like you can die at any point in time. So I'm like, I want to make sure I'm living this day to the fullest that I can today. And it doesn't mean I'm going to go out there and I'm going to build a wall or I'm going to, I'm going to, but it's like, all right, like give myself a goal, make sure I'm happy and proud with what I did for that day. And if I'm not, do it tomorrow and make sure I note to myself, like, all right, let's fix this and get on
no,
the right.
I agree. I agree. I try to make the most out of every day.
Yeah.
And look, some days are just not going to work. And that's what it was. Look at Sunday night. Sunday night was not a good night for me.
Yeah, I mean, wait a second. Every day can't be perfect. Every day was perfect. The world would be boring.
No. The Ravens really fucking screwed up.
It wasn't a boring game. It was just not a fun game for you.
No, even if I won, the Ravens made it. I didn't do well with the Ravens. It was very upsetting. It was a productive Sunday up until the Ravens game. But usually when Stephen A. Smith calls it out, Cam Newton calls it out, Pat McAfee calls it out, and then Rex Ryan calls it out, the Ravens fucked up. Like
No,
those.
well, I think like, I don't know. Like, I can tell. Like even that football is painful. Like I love fantasy football, but like if my team's losing by like the 4 o'clock games, I'm like I don't even want to watch the rest of them. I don't care. Like, as long as I watch the Eagles, I'm like I'm done. Like fantasy is. I mean, football is just frustrating because I love it and you're obsessed with it and you get to like I love seeing football, but at the same time,
Why do you think I like football? It's great. It's great because it's Monday, Thursday, Sunday.
now
And
Friday and and then you got college football Saturday. You got a lot of football. I love football. I grew up playing football, like so. I'm all football.
I did not grow up playing football. I grew up playing chess. The
Hey,
real football.
chess is awesome now. I mean, chess is a very mind. You basically play chess on football too. I mean, whether you're the lineman picking up a specific linebacker coming in,
Football.
running plays, you're doing pulls.
I view football very differently than other people view football. I view football as a conquest to take land. That's how I view football.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's a war. It's a war. It's you got the offensive, attacking defenders, and trying to get to their basically get their end zone. You're getting to their food supply.
You have a field commander throwing something to create an aerial assault.
I mean, the thing is, the footballs aren't exploding, and you're not seeing like Travis Kelce's arms and legs flying in there, and you see like Mahomes walking by picking up a leg, like in the beginning of Saving Private Ryan. It's you don't see them like, all right, calling the drone strike. Like, oh no, like, did you see this? They're going in the drone strike. It's the push drone strike.
Football is about taking land, and that's how I view football.
No, I mean that's an accurate way to do it. Like, I mean, It's not war. It's not actual war, but it is.
To me, it is. It's real to me.
I mean, it's real to them. Like I wouldn't be able to. I don't know how they survive some of these hits and get back up and then play for another.
I think the Eagles defender, I believe I mean, they had to suspend that game because of him. It just so happens that lightning was
Hit him
occurring.
so hard that lightning cracked through the barrier.
Yeah, right. That's my favorite meme.
The God of Thunder on the field.
That's my favorite meme now, everybody, is that the guy on the Eagles hit the guy and it looked like he took off his head. And then immediately after, they had to suspend the game because it was like a lightning issue. And so the meme says, I forget the player, I think it was Matt something. It just is being investigated for murder. And the NFL had to suspend the game. And then underneath the caption, it says there's also lightning in the area too. And that's like it's like the greatest meme thing ever because you just see him like all jacked up and like you see the head. And it's great. It's just great.
Gotta love football. Gotta love the Birds, man.
But when I first saw it, I legitimately thought an NFL player was being investigated for murder. Like they
got you on the they got you on the meme.
It was like on Polymarket on their Instagram account, and then I read the caption. I said, "What the fuck? How did I not hear about this? I thought this would have made the news." An NFL player, because for those who don't know, Nas Reed, who's a player in for the Timberwolves in Minnesota, his sister was just killed in a gun issue. So I was like, "Oh shit! Something actually fucking happened." In the real sports world, did something really just happen here? And then I'm like, oh fuck, they got me. God damn it.
Well, I'll get hit with that where it's like the sports memery, and you're reading it, like, wait, what? Like this can't be real. Like, but it seems a little bit, but like, oh no.
But if it says an NFL player is being investigated for murder, it's not unplausible.
You just didn't. No, I mean, it's definitely not impossible. I mean, we've had documentaries about it.
Like, I mean, I don't know. It's not like we had a tight end on the Patriots do something.
No, not at all. No, he didn't murder multiple people. Oh man, it just got dark real quick. It's just.
I'm sorry.
That's cool.
I thought you only murdered one person, but I mean, you want to go if you know something I don't know. Then be like this to educate me.
I think it was two, or maybe it was. No, I thought it was two.
I mean, Aaron Hernandez. I thought.
I watched that documentary too, but it was something about like there was a Florida nightclub shooting too that I thought they thought he was that he was part of.
He might have been investigated for that, but it might not have occurred or it might not have been proven.
Yeah, I watched it when it first came out. What was that, like, I don't know, 6 years ago, whatever it was? Craziness.
Just crazy. You would think if you have that much money, you're that talented, like you would be calm.
I don't think it was. It's like crazy. Like, people that do crazy things aren't in control of the things that they do. I mean, they do it. They're responsible for it. Like there's no escaping that. But like at the same time, like I don't think money was a thought in his head. It was more just like, I'm killing this guy. Like, or even that though. There's like, I don't know. That's wrong. Like, I mean, there's some people that think they have enough money they can do whatever they want. I mean,
I don't know. I'm such like a laid down, peaceful person.
I just like to be away from that crazy stuff. There's too much crazy stuff in the world, and I love the world. I love exploring the world. But as I get older, and I feel like I'm becoming an old man, where I'm like, I understand why people just stop wanting to deal with like crowds and other people, because there's too much craziness out there, and it's like it's not worth it. Like I got things I want to do in my life. Like I'm not trying to like cause drama or be in drama. Like that's just not worth it. There's always gonna be drama, but you don't need to find.
I agree. But getting back to comics, obviously, you know, a lot of stuff's going on in the industry, and I am curious where you think the industry is going, because you've been in it for almost 17 years and a lot of stuff's happened. And obviously now you worked for a decent company for the 16 years, and now you're in your own. And I'm curious where you think it's going in the next 2-3 years. A lot of shit's happened.
My hope is that it keeps growing And like, I mean, so my hopes is that it keeps growing and it keeps getting a larger fan base, and it doesn't lose too much ground to manga and anime stuff. And that's where like a lot of the concern, like, my concern is less about like, I think stores are always going to be there and they're always going to grow. I mean, not always, but like they're for right now, it's going to keep growing. I mean, there's too many aspects to deal with this. Like, so you have manga, you have distribution issues, you have AI, you have, um, I mean, just to deal with those already, it's kind of tough to see where it's going. I think for at least the next couple of years, it's going to pretty much go business as usual of creating content, getting it in stores. The bigger guys are going to constantly sell what they're going to sell and move through stores. Like your DC and Marvels aren't going to be too much affected by it, especially while they're making movies and stuff like that. It's just there's a lot of concerns where like the market is going to market keeps has ups and downs and shifts. So like I don't know. I guess I can't worry about that bigger picture. My concern has got to be like, can I keep creating books? Can I get a fan base for it, and will I have outlets to do it? And then I think so. I think with Kickstarters and like Backer Kit and what's the other one, Indiegogo, all this stuff where you can kind of self like regulate your product and grow your own product and your own fan base. That's going to keep growing, and I think that's going to be very helpful for independent people, and it also helps a lot of established like people too. Like I just seen what is it? Is it ID? No, Skybound's running like a J. Scott Campbell book, and then you see like IDW runs books on there, Dynamite's running books on there, Zenescope runs books on there,
and you have celebrities running stuff.
Yeah, so like, and the thing is, like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, this is crazy. Why are they doing this? They have money and stuff like that." It's like, I was like, all they're really doing is taking away the like, say if they had a site, they're taking away the pre-order on their site and putting in a pre-order on here. Like you can't get mad about other people doing their job and selling stuff. All you can do is make sure that if you're not selling, if your fans are buying their book, it's not because, oh man, they shouldn't be doing this. It's like, what am I doing wrong that my fans aren't buying my book? That's all you can be concerned about, and that's all you can really do. You're not going to be able to be like, well, I'm going to write a letter and make sure they can't make books. Like it's not about that. It's like, don't focus on that. It's growing your own stuff and making sure people want to read your books and read your stuff and like your content. Like you can't be concerned, like unless they're actively hacking into your email, stealing all your information, and then making your books before you can make your book. Like then that's a fair argument. But like, but stuff like that for like independence, I think it's getting it's going to grow and then it's going to shrink, and that's how every market goes, because you're going to get a ton of people jumping in. You're going to get people jumping in for the quick cash grabs. You're going to get people jumping in that aren't ready to make comic books yet. You're going to get people that are ready to make comic books that just don't know how to market yet or sell. And again, I'm saying this hoping I'm not in one of those categories currently, but it's like you gotta go all in, and then it's got to shrink itself down to like to weed out like the people that are willing to stick with it and willing to do it and learn like figure out a way to get it done, and then you're going to constantly see people kind of come in. So I think it's going to keep growing. I'm saying all this craziness, but it's like in the end, I think comics are going to keep growing, manga is going to keep growing, the market for entertainment is going to keep growing, because that's where we're going. We're going to the point where like we're just digesting entertainment, whether it's Netflix, whether it's Paramount Plus, whether it's comic books, like whatever it is. Like we're heading towards this direction. And as much as we hate AI on a creator level, like it's pushing us towards this way, because it's like I'm not going to use AI to write a book for me. I'm not going to use AI to make a comic book cover for me. I understand the people that do it. I understand the people that don't do it. I'm not for it. That's just for me, because like I like to create things and I like to work with people that create things, and I don't see that as a creation. I see that as I don't even know what it is, but and that's a whole different complicated situation. But also too, like AI outside of comics is changing the world, where AI for like just regular jobs, like people are getting replaced with jobs. Like they're even tech companies where like they're not hiring. I read this thing the other day. They're hiring less like entry level and middle level people, and they're replacing them basically with AI, and they're just keeping high level people. So like that world, our world's going to change regardless of how it affects comics. That's going to push us, I think, more towards. I mean, it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. It could be a good thing of pushing us towards like more convenience and more easiness to get things done, and less things to worry about. Like, okay, are we going to eat this week? Are we going to be able to create power? Is it like things like that? Like on the broader scheme. So like it might push us all towards like you know what, let's fill our time with entertainment. I hope. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea what's happening.
I have a different viewpoint on AI. I think AI. Yeah, I was watching a Diary of a CEO, and there was a guy that was saying that we're going to see like 99% unemployment in the next 5 years. I don't think it's going to be that extreme, but I think we're going to see 25% to 50% reduction. I'm a strong believer that I think that 25 to 50% of artists are going to lose their job or have a harder time finding work. And especially in comics and in graphic design and a bunch of other areas. I said that a few years ago, and I think that there's going to be things and there's going to be adaptations. So I think that we're going to figure out a lot of stuff. We're going to maximize power, for instance, where things are not necessarily going to become cheaper. We're going to have more of it, right? And I think that even oil production and everything else you could possibly imagine, we're going to have more of it. I think AI is going to do that. But I do feel that AI is going to change the digital world, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a good thing. But I also think that you got to adapt to this changing environment, and you got to be ready for it because it's coming.
No, it's the thing. It's like AI is not going anywhere. Like people are like, oh, like, don't use AI, and it's like, no, don't do it if you're creating, and or if or don't be dishonest about what you're doing. But like, it's not going anywhere. It's only gonna like technology doesn't go backwards. Like we don't ever like we didn't just get to a point where like, you know what, we have too much cool stuff on the computer. Let's not make a phone. It's like you know, like we constantly it's gonna keep going, and it's figuring out the best way to make it work. I have a rose-colored glasses when it comes to comics, because people still love to meet the creators that make their books. People like to get autographs and human interaction, and I think it's I don't know. I have no idea how it's going to go, and the only thing I think is you can't really do much besides be a genuine person and be honest and be like and keep your creativity to human creativity. If you want to use your other stuff, do your other stuff. But like, I don't know. I see too much stuff now where it's like people are losing their minds over it, and like, rightfully so. Like at the same time, like I'd be upset if all of a sudden people are like, I'm not hiring you anymore because I'm just going to use ChatGPT to write my book for me. I'm like, that's perfectly possible. Let's do whatever you want. I'm never going to do that. So as long as you know you're buying my books, you're getting them written by me or people that I trust to write them or whatever it is. And to draw them and things like that. Like, I think it's gonna create like splits, not like a full split down the middle, but splits of like, oh, well, here's these people that just like this kind of art or this kind of thing or these generated things that like whatever, and then you're gonna still have human people creating art and creating things. Is it gonna shrink? It might. Is it gonna? But I mean, I feel like we still have hope where it's like again like. I want to meet the people like that created things for me. I want to like you want to see the actors. You want to see the artists. You want to get things signed. You like I don't know. And all of a sudden you go to a convention and there's a guy sitting there with his computer and you're like, dude, I love that thing that you generated from all those 20 guys, those other guys' artwork. Can you autograph this? And they're like, yes, hold on real quick. And they type it in and it prints out an autograph for them. And it's just like, oh, thank you, man. The ink, it still smells wet. Like like I really, if the world gets to that point, I don't want to be in it. So like I at that point, I'll put the VR goggles on and disappear into the Matrix. Like I mean, so I don't know. Like I don't think it's gonna happen. Like with the art world and with that stuff, I think you're gonna still have people like holding ground. But like in 2 generations, is it? In another 40 years, 50 years, these people that are being raised on this stuff, they might not have a care. So like. I'm hopefully going to be dead before that. That's the only point I can. The only positive is that I'll be dead, guys. That's it. That's that's I won't have to see it. I mean that's my hope.
Fair enough. Fair
And
enough.
so like I die and then they plug me in. They're like, "Welcome back," and I'm like, "No." They're
I,
like,
I
"Yes,
am. I am.
you're Dave ChatGPT."
I am a big proponent of AI collectively, and I have a hard time separating the whole thing. But that's a me problem. People give me shit for it, and my position is that it's coming. So I mean,
No,
just
it has the juices. Like I like looking at weird, crazy videos of like AI. You see, it's like a dog, and then all of a sudden it picks up and it's a guy wearing a dog suit. Like I think that's funny. That's fine. Like at the same time, like
I
I
love there's an AI fat orange cat thing on Instagram, and they're great because like the cat is calling up and pretends to be caught, and then it traps like a goat, and then it makes like it kills the goat. It's hilarious because
I'm saying like stuff like that. Like there is AI. There's use for AI, but also to like it sucks because like you can't be like, oh, well, I like this because eventually, essentially, it could be taking away ideas and jobs from other people. So it's like, but at the same time, you can't stop it. It's a point where it's like it's not even worth arguing about. Of like you can argue about it where I'm like, again, like you're putting out like an artist is like who's drawn his stuff all the time, puts out an AI cover, and they're like, yeah, I drew this. That I'm not okay with. I can't be cool with that. But if you're like, you know what, like, hey, I made this thing over here. It's 100% AI. I'm telling you what it is. Do what you want with it. Like the thing is too, you can't own the AI. You don't own the copyright to the AI images that you make. So like that's why Marvel. That's the only reason. Like that was like they just came out and said that the only reason Marvel and DC doesn't really use AI is because they can't own it and manipulate it and do whatever they want with it.
it's interesting, right? Because I don't know if you can own an AI video that you create.
I don't think anything created with AI is right now you can't get a copyright on it. Like at least that's where they stand at. So that's why a lot of these companies don't use AI because they technically can't own the rights to it, and that's all it is. That's all these a lot of these companies are. It's like IP. I want to own this IP. I sell this IP. I rent this
So,
IP.
so
At least this IP.
this is my issue too with the AI position, and everybody's cheering the Dragon Con situation that occurred. And my response to that is, what are the rules with AI? If a convention has no AI rules, you can't kick somebody out. And what if I'm a dealer and somebody has an AI cover that I bought and I'm just selling it? I mean, it's like, am I going to get kicked out of
Yeah,
a
I mean that's a gray area. I mean, well, that's the thing too. Like if a convention openly states like in their terms of service, like why you sign it because you basically sign a like a not a like a contract with them. But like if it says in there like, hey, like this is against our rules and you violate their rules, they have every right to kick you out. I mean, if it's not in their rules, then it's like, all right, well, then you probably have a case of being like, look, I followed all your rules, you still kicked me out, you didn't like whatever. Like I don't know. That's their own personal.
this is my question is that so let's say somebody creates an AI cover and I'm just a vendor, right? So let's say that I'm a Joe's Andrew's comic shop, right? And I have 50 of these AI covers. Can a convention kick me out? I'm not creating it. It's well known as its AI art, but
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
if you're signing up to get a booth, if you're signing up a booth and it says we do not want AI stuff sold at our convention, and you knowingly sell it, then yes, I think you should get kicked out. But if you had no idea, and then all of a sudden you came out and you're like, dude, I had no idea that this is AI.
because
I'll take this down. And
my understanding of what happened at Dragon Con is that the person was in Artist Alley. I don't think that a convention might care as much if it's just a vendor in the main comic area where like the floor is and it's not Artist Alley because you're just selling something, right? And it's just AI art. I think that they're going to be a little bit more charitable in that realm versus if it's an Artist Alley because it's just
yeah,
like a comic
the
in
thing is, like, I don't think they have the ability to be charitable, only because if you're at a show and you're being like say like, if all of a sudden there's a surge on AI writers and I couldn't get at this show where I'm at this show and all the people I know that are actual writers can't get in here, but this guy is selling AI books at another booth. Like he's not creating it, but he's selling it and he's taking away like I don't know. It's
it's tricky. So let me ask this. I think it's easier to prove AI art.
I think they have abilities to do both, but also too you can look at AI art, which is kind of crazy now. For now you can. right away you could see it in the faces. I count fingers all the time. Like when I look for new artists, I'm always counting fingers.
So,
Or
so,
I'm
so, so,
counting
so,
fingers
so
and toes.
I'll ask this question, right? If I ran, you don't know if I ran this interview through Chat GPT, right? Or if I built bullet points. You have no idea if I did or I didn't do it, right? But you wouldn't say this is an AI generated podcast.
No, well, that's where I think AI should be able to use as a tool. Like, say if I was like, I have a concept in my head, and I use like AI to like create thumbnails of it to send to an artist to create. I think that's a little bit more
So
acceptable. Where
I
you're like,
bring
hey, look, I have this thing, I can't describe it. Like I'm trying to describe it. You're speaking a different language. Your first language is Spanish, and we're just not connecting. So like you use something like, hey, look, here's this. It showed a stick figure of like here's the angle I want or something like that. That's more I think acceptable because you're not using it as the finalized product and you're using it as a tool to
to
kind of
do
it's like
something.
using a calculator. It's like it's basically saying like I don't know how to do this math. Let me run this math so I can give you the number that you need to use to spend this money.
So obviously I hand build my interviews, right?
Yeah.
And that's just how I do it. In which I want to write everything, I build out bullet points. But if you build out bullet points of top bullet points using Chat GPT, but then you do an interview, I don't think that interview is Chat GPT. I don't think it's an AI interview. I think
No,
you've
because it's basically it's a calculator at that point.
yeah.
You're basically it's giving you like a direction. It's a GPS at that point. You're using it like a GPS, and all you're doing is like, okay, I got to make a right turn. But like, you can make a right turn and crash into a car. That's your choice. That's your way you're
So,
driving. So like that same thing with the thing. It might be like, ask Dave about this, and then you ask me it, but you ask me it like meanly or nicely, and we get a different. And you're building a reaction. Like so, if
mhm.
anything, ChatGPT at that point is just a GPS. That I think is okay. That's like I mean that's where it should be helpful for that. It's not like you're like, you know what, Dave, I can't make the interview today, so I'm going to have a ChatGPT version of me talk to you, and you're just going to answer this thing as it reflects on you. That where I'm like, no, this is insane. I'm not going to do that. But the fact that you were just like, hey, like, tell me, like, I mean, like, I don't, I know I don't have time to look up Dave, like anything information on Dave. Give me a top 10 list of like books that he's worked on, and they're like, okay, cool, and then you can bring that up. Like you might question yourself as an interviewer where you're like, did I put that work in there? But again, that's a calculator. That's a GPS. That's not asking me the questions. And we're actually having a conversation and we're building things off of it. Now, if like while I'm talking, Chat GPT's running and telling you exactly what to say to me, yeah, that's not an interview. Like if all of a sudden like a prompter's coming up and it's like, now say this, say this, say this. And it's like that's not an interview. That's not what like that is not cool.
But I mean, for those who are curious, I do have notes open of my notes that I wrote. And so I have things cool, get this point, get this point, get this point in. But obviously we're having a conversation about it. But like I have information. So I have like the descriptor of your Kickstarter, for instance.
Yeah.
And but that to me is not cheating either. I
No,
don't know.
no, it's not like that. Like again, the GPS calculator. But yeah, it's not like ChatGPT is not creating a prompter for you to say these words to me, and everything you're saying is coming from you. Like it might be a bullet point from here, but we're having a conversation, and yeah, like I hope I don't know if all these years you've been replaced by AI. This would be very like all of a sudden your head just starts spinning, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
It'll be like Jimmy Olsen in The Dark Knight Returns.
Oh yeah, like it's not making sense. But
It's so many things I could say, but I digress. I digress. I do want to give you a chance to promote yourself. So where can people find you, bother you, hit you up, disturb you, check out the Kickstarter, all that good stuff? Because
no,
that's
you can never. I mean, I would say you can never disturb me. You can never bother me. I can be disturbed, but I can never be bothered. I mean, the Kickstarter is right now on Kickstarter for the next 6 days. Tomorrow at noon, it'll be 6 days. So it's Anti-Christine and the Four Unicorns of the Apocalypse, #1. Um, we like basically every dollar helps me not just eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day for the rest of my life, but also helps me build the next book. So I appreciate any dollars or any support or even sharing it or just telling people about it because like as much as money's awesome, more eyes on there, and the more people that can see it is just as good. But so yeah, so you have Kickstarter right now, weirdbrainentertainment.com. My mailing list is on there, which is a Substack because I don't have the funds to get like a crazy mailing list. So I update things on Substack. It's a free sign up. I'm not going to charge you for anything. I'm filling you with nonsense that I'm working on every day, and it's basically because I have no one else to talk to. So you guys got to listen to me. So you got the Substack on there. And then there's Weird Brain Entertainment on Instagram, on X, on Facebook, and then I'm building it on TikTok. Right now all I have is an account, but I'm going to start doing videos on there, like marketing the books, talking about like behind the scenes of the books. I've been watching stuff and researching, so a lot of the stuff is kind of like hearing what people want to hear. Like some people don't know how you write a comic book or like how you book stuff or how things like that. So I'm gonna dive into that. I just want I like interacting with a fan base and interacting with other people. So like that's going to grow hopefully as I get more confidence. Because right now it's me being a baby and just like I don't want to get in front of the camera and do this like by myself, but I'm going to just have to. So yeah, so it's Facebook, Instagram, X, whatnot eventually too. TikTok currently building that. Kickstarter and weirdbrainentertainment.com and pretty much any comic book that'll carry me. Right now, like one of the main comic books around here is Comic Collection. Really awesome guys. Evil Empire Comics. So if you're in the local area, like Philadelphia and stuff like that, you can find my stuff there. Yeah, Amazon, Global Comics, everything. Trying to get out there. Local conventions. I'll be at the hell is it called? I'll be at a Comic Con in Lancaster. It's called losing my mind. Stellar Con is on September 27th. I'll be there for the one-day show. I'll be in New York for the Hot Flips Comic Con on October 5th. It's a Sunday. It's a one-day show right before New York. And then I'll have a booth in New York. It's booth 1947. So I'll be there all 4 days at New York Comic Con coming up. So I think that's everything that I've ever done in my life that I've just told everybody. So
I forgot that New York Comic Con is coming up. Wow, I forgot. Wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to get basically once I already sent Anti-Christine to the printer. I'm just waiting to make sure that it gets funded, and if it does, I'll have it ready for New York.
Crazy, just crazy. But yeah, so obviously go support people and their projects on Kickstarter, all that fun stuff. Obviously, social media is a big one. Check out all that stuff. And yes, and then as far as I'm concerned and everything that I'm doing, obviously I am Pop Anime Comics on Twitter. I am in Twitter jail because of my comments towards John Harborough. He deserved it. I am not going to back off my words. I basically told him that they played shitty and they should eat a shit sandwich. I didn't think that was inciting violence. Apparently, Twitter disagreed. I appealed it and they ruled against me. Shocking. Which is funny because I thought Elon would have agreed with that statement. But hey, we can't all be perfect here.
AI, man. It's AI.
but I will be back on Sunday or night that is. So depending on how that goes, I might be in Twitter jail again. But I digress right there. But you can still follow me there. I have an Instagram, Pop Anime Comics, Pop Anime Comics on Facebook. I tweet a lot on Twitter about football, but not anymore till Sunday. I have a TikTok too, Pop Anime Comics. I have a YouTube, Pop Anime Comics. Yeah, and then I have an eBay store. And this is my eBay store. Everybody look for comics and collectibles. Come shop with us on eBay at Pop Anime Comics Collectibles. It is in the description down below, to the side, up above, depending on where you are seeing all this. And right now, I am gearing up to add in a lot of new merch, a lot of expensive merch. So I do sell stuff like this, which is limited 25 Angel Reese's. I sell cards like this, which are 101s. I sell cards like this, which is also another 101. I do carry a few of these sometimes, which is a cool one right there.
Yeah, Ricardo Osnea. I booked that. I booked all those cards that came in. Yeah.
And then I carry stuff like this too, which is Leather Dark Magician Girl from Tuxedo Tiger. And all that stuff.
Raglio?
What?
The artist, is it Brian? I think it's Miraglio, right?
Yes, yes. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. It's massively popular artist right now. And then I carry stuff like this also. And stuff like this. I have all 15 of these. I have all 15 of these. I think these are Lendai. So
No idea
um
who that is.
what, you know who that is?
No.
She's been around too. And then I carry cards like this all the time as well. So, my boy John Cena, guys, my boy John Cena. So yes, I carry everything. And then this is a Shikari, and I just love this cover. So I do carry a lot of Shikaris. But right now, my eBay store, I have one thing in my eBay store because I am gearing up to really add in a lot of merch. And I'm planning to add in a lot of really cool stuff. So if you're looking for really rare cards, expensive cards, I got you, but I also sell $8 cards too. So there's something for everybody in my store. Everything from a $1,200 card all the way down to an $8 card, and everything in between. So there's something for everybody. And if you are looking for something and I don't have it, please ask me, because if I have it, I will definitely put it up. And if I don't have it, chances are I know somebody who does, or I know somebody who I can direct you to that will help you get what you want. Again, that's Pop Anime Comics Collectibles on eBay. We'll be back kind of, in the next 2 weeks on that. So that's everything that I got going on, and I'm going to give you the final word.
All right, cool. Actually, I just thought of something. So no, never mind. No, it's not going to work, and I didn't want to. I would have put myself in a weird situation. No, I mean, yeah, definitely check out the Kickstarter. I got the Anti-Christine and the Four Unicorns of the Apocalypse, and the end of the month, September 24th, I should be launching Sven the Groundhog, Saved from the Stars #2. It'll offer issues 1 and 2, so if you miss issue 1, you'll be able to get it with that one too. But yeah, no, thanks again, man, for having me on. It's always fun, crazy, and I'm sure I sound like an idiot all the time, but that's because it's real life, and that's what I am.
Well, I don't think we could have ended any better than that, everybody, and that is a wrap.